Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party and the Conspiracy Monday show, which is a regular every single week, as you know. We've got a lot of things going on in the news today that are really important, and we don't want to forget and to mention all the important things that are happening. A man with a gun shot by police at the Capitol Visitor Center in Washington, D.C., everybody. A man with a gun was shot by police this afternoon at the Capitol Visitor Center, according to D.C. Police Department. We don't know what this was about. He had disrupted Congress before, officials say, so he was apparently escalating. Yeah, we don't know whether these people who do these things are part of the MKUltra project or not. That's an interesting theory. And I want to remind everybody, I'm against GMOs, chemtrails. I'm against the war overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan. I want to end the Fed. And there's no other candidate running now that wants to end the Fed. No forced vaccinations either. I don't support forced vaccinations. Now, Ted Cruz is running, but he's not officially a Tea Party member, really. I mean, when you think about it. And I'm not either, but I definitely want to end the Fed. No fluoride in our water system. I'm the only candidate who wants to stop that. No, I will never give you a signature. Dave, look, are you saying this is a false flag? Let's take a look, Jojo. Jojo's got something for us here. Yeah, we'll look at all the photographs, but I'm still of the belief that they're trying to push for two things. Gun control, and they want to push for another agenda, which is war. Fear of terrorists all around the world. Okay, the Mormon missionary person named Mason Wells, who now allegedly was in all three attacks, the Paris bombing, the Brussels attack, and of course the Boston Marathon attack. A heartwarming moment for this Mormon who was reunited with their son, who survived these attacks after spending 2 years apart. This is a complete joke. Everything about this is a massive, unbelievable, and tragic joke. And you can even see on the parents' faces the smiles. I don't know if you can see their faces really closely, but they're smirking. I think they're literally smirking, all three. Yeah, so what happened was Mason Wells was found with, in all the photographs of all three of these events by good journalism on the internet, people looking at all the photographs up close. There's a lot of people doing detailed work from their home right now to try to get to the truth. Yeah, look at the smiles. Yeah, very suspicious, standing there smiling. Anyway, the whole story is, in my opinion, BS. They're all actors. That's correct. And the reason why people on the internet found, Randall, you can't self-promote here. I thought I explained that to you. Yeah. The reason why they found the face of this guy in all three, because he really was in all three events, because he's a crisis actor. They make money doing this, okay? That's why he was there. But the media immediately covered it, and they created a flexible propaganda story around it. Oh, weird coincidence. This guy was in all three events. That is the smoking gun. That is the red herring showing you that there's something wrong here. All right? They just can't cover their corrupt butt fast enough because the people on the internet are really doing good work. I am not an actor, never been an actor. I'm a real person. I'm the only real person running for president consecutively every single election. Despite all odds, all hatred against me. I have no media representation whatsoever in the mainstream media. That's a conspiracy in and of itself. And I can't possibly be a shill, simply because I make no money. I have no proof of income. I mean, literally, I don't draw money for salary or anything. I'm not charging you a cent to watch this. I'm literally the only guy who's honest enough and decent enough to save this nation. The rest of the people are a bunch of corrupt snakes. Bernie, Hillary, Donald, Ted. Snakes. Sneaky snakes. I'm the only candidate that can save America. Thank you, Jackson. I know, and Anonymous exposed the guy. Yeah, right. Anonymous has been running out of the government for the past 7 years since their inception. The government can buy anybody or anything. Look, function off that premise. The government has unlimited funds because they print up money, literally, out of thin air. So they can give Google billions of dollars. They can hire people to say things, whatever. This guy Mintz, who was down there in Umpqua community shooting, he claimed he was shot 7 times, then he changed the story to 5 times. He doesn't have a single scar on his body, and he made over $1 million in GoFundMe money. Anonymous is nothing. They're just a government outpost. Exposing everything is a joke. You must be an idiot if you think Anonymous hasn't been co-opted, as has WikiLeaks. I take it on pretty good, solid information from someone that Julian Assange is on the take. He likes money. They're all about the money, these people. They sell off eventually because they don't have the substance, the principle-driven focus that I have. I'm not viable. I'm the only presidential candidate out there that will not pick up a phone call from AIPAC and say, oh, how can I meet you? Where can I get money? Remember when Donald met AIPAC last week? He's looking for money. There is no stuttering in the cast. Are you getting some sort of an audio glitch? I've never studied. Yeah, you may be suffering from an... Are you hearing what you're getting? Oh, it's glitch on you. There's something with your audio. No. Check your audio. Right. I'm just kidding you. Don't worry about it. Ted Cruz couldn't take his own wife down, and literally. Come on. I mean, the guy is like schmoozing with the devil, pretending to be so Christian that and then he turns on Donald. Why doesn't he make a bigger issue of Melania being a naked woman who posed? I mean, seriously, Trump is walking around like a kettle calling the pot black, and this whole interplay between Cruz and Trump last week was hilarious. I mean, come on. I mean, it's obvious Trump is dealing from a very weak hand. I mean, he's got a woman in his life. He's married to her, and she was butt naked on a magazine. I mean, did he think he was running for president at the time? Butt naked is okay. I can say that. And plus, Ted Cruz's wife is counsel on foreign relations. Goldman Sachs employee formerly. Yeah. When I talk about the specifics, you guys resort to name calling, like guest 802 says, "Shut up, Dave, you big child, immature clown." Every time I hit you guys square in the eyes on all the issues, all you can do is name call. What does Bernie's wife look like? I want to see this. Bernie's wife. Remember? Yeah. Bernie's wife. Oh my God. Jane O'Mara Sanders. Wow. This is phenomenal. What a wonderful woman to stand by her hubby, who never worked until the age of 40 years old. There she is. Now she's a trooper, I'll tell you that. She's a trooper. Bernie, he needs to see a cardiologist. I mean, seriously. Look, I'm 55 years old, and Bernie looks like he's 80. I mean, this campaign's hurting him. I feel bad for him. Hi. No, please don't refer to my teeth as baboon teeth. That's very disturbing. They called Abe Lincoln Ape Lincoln. My fellow Americans. Bernie's 75 and he's still running. Wow. It's too bad I can't get 1 second of mainstream media attention, or I would rip them open logically. Every one of their ideas is fallow and without any merit. In fact, he doesn't have any ideas. Melania she is beautiful, but she was also a person who liked money so much she posed naked. Sarah never did that. Sarah's not into money. I chose Sarah because she's not materialistic. I gave Sarah a ring recently. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I didn't make a big deal about it. Yeah. No, she's a real true woman. Sarah is the kind of woman that you very rarely see. It took me a long time to find her, 2 years. Yeah, Melania, I mean, posing naked and then now wanting to be First Lady of the United States. I mean, what is Trump thinking? What was he thinking when he dated her? Well, Sarah would never do that. She has a great deal of self-respect, and you got to ask yourself, what woman would take her clothes off and go butt naked for cash? Is that the kind of woman you want as First Lady? Do you? Pentagon is training for underground war disaster in densely populated megacities. Why doesn't the Pentagon prepare a civil defense system? That would be better. Look, you can't measure my materialism by how many computers I have. I mean, I'm one of the guys that got burned by computers back in the day. Yeah, now I buy computers because they're such a good deal. I mean, how can I not buy a computer? I mean, we saw a gaming computer for $1,000, including a 3-year service contract. And we couldn't believe the deal. We just said, we're going for it. Now the same computer sells for about $1,400. And we're going to use that on the road trip when we take our cross-country road trip. Well, obviously the Pentagon doesn't have a civil defense plan. They're pretending to have plans worked up for no reason to run war games with the UN and other forces around the world so that we ultimately lose our nation. I will pull the nuts out of the Pentagon and say, hey, what are we dealing with here? Are you Americans or are you UN support crews here? Because I don't want UN support crews working for my country when we want to defend this nation. Thank you. Darkness personified. David is a road tripping, yeah. I like the tie, yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see. Check this out. All right, here we go. As populations grow into cities across the globe, an increasingly majority of people will live in urban areas, places which quickly become very desperate and vulnerable during a major crisis. This is like fear porn here. Yeah, this is one of these fear porn sites, shtfplan.com. Every prepper knows the dangers of being stuck in a major metropolitan city in the event of a major hurricane, a grid down scenario, or civil unrest and societal collapse. Yeah. In such a situation, as every prepper knows, food, water, and other vital resources will become quickly scarce or unavailable. This should be an Alex Jones verse. The gridlock of survivors trying to get out or get their hands on assets. Increasingly, the Pentagon is looking at the likelihood, perhaps the inevitability, of war conflict inside of a destabilized or decimated megacity urban center, like New York. Governor, these elitists are going to take over everywhere. I'm Jesse Ventura. I'm not Jesse Ventura. Yeah, I don't really get into the fear porn thing. Hidden secrets. I'll show you things that'll blow your mind. Yeah. The whole thing, Alex Jones is run by the military industrial complex. When they first ordered those sites, Prison Planet, and you can go to archive.org and look this up, but Prison Planet and InfoWars were originally purchased by Skunk Works Productions. Okay, so Jackson, you've been drinking too much. You broke your ankle, and now you fell last night screwing up your elbow. What's going on, man? Why are you hitting the shots at night? Tell me that, please. That's right. Alex Jones basically gets a $9 million paycheck, and I wouldn't doubt Skunk Works writes it. I don't have severe psoriasis. I don't have any psoriasis. I haven't had dandruff in years. I've been using incredible products in my hair. Yeah, there's nothing normal about Alex Jones. Believe me, the telltale sign is that Alex is a plant. The real Alex Jones has been systematically whisked away. We don't even know where he is.
I'm Bill Hicks.
But this guy is Bill Hicks. He was put in play. He's a puppet for the Illuminati. The reason why only Alex Jones has been to the Bohemian Grove is because he's the only one that would even get authorization to get there. That's why he's the only one who actually got into the Bohemian Grove for that True TV
I am
episode.
Bill Hicks. Yes, I am Bill Hicks.
Well, at least he finally admitted it, yeah. A ducky? No ducky. Just my hair. Well, I can't support a guy who takes my ideas. I'm glad he's taking my ideas, though, in some ways, because my ideas got rid of the Jeb Bush threat. Yeah, just take it easy, Jackson. If you like drinking, drinking will destroy you. Yeah, you're going into a world that, have you tried, going to a legal state where you can smoke marijuana? I mean, you may want to just get away from the booze, man. Well, you're facing nothing but physical ailments because of what you're doing. I'm trying to tell you. Alcohol really screws up your mobility. I bet 60% of the people in here are potheads. Yeah. And by the way, we do support legalization of marijuana, 100% recreational. No other presidential candidate commits to that. I do. And I've been doing this for 8 years, committed to the idea of legalization. You're a pothead. You're proud to be a pothead. There you go. We don't think that marijuana is dangerous as people say that it is dangerous. It's not. Marijuana's never killed anybody. It shouldn't be on the list of controlled substances. All right. Look at all the people that died of tobacco, alcohol, legal drugs, illegal drugs. Even aspirin kills 500 people a year in America. In America. Yeah. In England, they have a special substance in the aspirin that prevents people from overdosing. They're very concerned about overdosing on aspirin. Well, there you go. You better get back into legal marijuana, Jackson, because what you're doing is screwing up your body. And alcohol is poison. It's a mild poison. Well, the whole idea of Nancy Reagan pretending like, just say no, when she was back there, popping Valium, God rest her soul. Yeah. So 2/3 of your viewers supported the idea to put ecstasy on the same list. Hey, like I said, I will work toward legalization of all drugs, but we need 2/3 of our show. And I did not see 2/3 of our viewers support it with one. Going back in the chat. Yeah, there's not one person that said they wanted ecstasy. Yeah. Where are you coming off with 2/3 said that they wanted it? 50 to 300 miles per gallon fuel-efficient cars are banned in the USA. So true. This is another conspiracy, folks. Conspiracy against getting good gas mileage. That's a good link. Thanks. FBI unlocks the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone without Apple's help. The government says it's withdrawing its legal action against Apple, and the FBI is currently reviewing the information in the phone. Thank you, Max F Radio. Thank you for breaking that story. Appreciate it. Max F Radio. Good story there. Yeah, that's a very appropriate little bit of information. We broke the story that John McAfee said that if the FBI doesn't know how to hack a phone, they need to contact him. So I wonder if John McAfee got a phone call from the FBI. Hello, this is the FBI. Hello, John. We appreciate your candid honesty about breaking into phones, John. And yeah, John McAfee laid it on the line. He actually said clearly if the FBI doesn't know how easy it is to hack in any phone, that they need to contact him. So they're withdrawing their case, thank God. We got people at the FBI that don't even understand the Constitution. And it took a good lawyer at Apple to step back and say, hey, this is a total breach of privacy. I'm really concerned that the NSA has not even stopped their constant impingement of our privacy. Everywhere we turn, they're trying to get more and more of our privacy. We've got thousands of voters who want to get me on the ballot. Okay, apparently Oculus Rift is hitting the market today, too. It's just one of the several virtual reality systems. But not all the VR gadgets are up to snuff. Okay, let's look at this other article that Scissor Fight brought in. Take a look at this. Thanks everybody for coming into our Conspiracy Monday show. But there is a conspiracy to keep really good inventions from reaching the automotive market. You know, last year Volkswagen came up with a 300 mile per gallon diesel, and they got slammed by the U.S. Transportation Department, accusing every one of the Volkswagen cars of violating fuel air emission standards. In 2006, when Michael and I went to Cannes, France was rented a very nice medium-sized Citroen, which got 60 miles to gallon, took diesel, yeah. We were very surprised to find that this kind of car was so readily available there. It would have loved to have taken it back with us. But not realizing that the knowing ones all want small cars. Parking spaces are so small, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Looking into this further, it turns out that we would not have been allowed to bring it back. Our government is preventing ultra-high mileage vehicles from being sold here. Yeah. They're using the CAFE standards of California to prevent any of these vehicles from coming in, and that's what they screwed Volkswagen with recently. California is the pivotal Soviet-style state in our country that is preventing really good innovations like Volkswagen has done on these vehicles. So there's an oil and coal lobby that prevents anything from actually getting to market that's really efficient. Folks, we don't have any political power. Folks, we don't have any political power. Yeah, you'll notice that Alex Jones doesn't endorse any kind of a third party. Yeah, it's amazing. He's so non-political. But what is interesting is he supports Donald Trump, Mr. Establishment. Yeah. He really should endorse a political movement, and then he would be banned from the internet like me. Deaths of eagles in Delaware. Maryland baffle investigators. Yeah, that's a $15,000 fine, you know, if you kill an eagle. Raptor riddle. Deaths of eagles in Delaware. I wonder what's going on there. It's a mystery. Yeah, because I have a third-party venue, I have been completely censored on YouTube, as well as other areas of the internet and the mainstream media. Because I'm simply standing up against the two-party system, they want to shut me down in the worst way. And I am not a person who was born afraid of anything. I was born with absolute courage to do what is necessary to fight for this country. And I will stand up to these corrupt scumbag thugs that are running our country right now and have been running our country ever since JFK died. And if you didn't know that, I'm here to tell you. A single bald eagle found dead in southern Delaware last Saturday didn't raise red flags. But then a few hours later, and a mile away, a startling scene happened. 8 bald eagles, distressed and disoriented, were discovered on the ground, barely moving on a fallow farm field. Seeing one in a field wouldn't be irregular, but then so many of them, and they weren't sitting up. They're just laying down. Look at this. Disoriented. A cluster of deaths comes just a month after 13 bald eagles died about 35 miles away on the eastern shore of Maryland. You're talking about radio frequencies here. RF frequencies most likely emanating from the DC area. I wouldn't doubt they're experimenting with microwave sensors. You know that all the cell phone towers in America are retrofitted for microwave scalar weaponry? I don't really want to hear about Bernie Sanders or the other person you mentioned. Thank you. I'd love to bring up the windmill. But this is a likely RF frequency stimulation. You know, they're probably getting fried. I wouldn't doubt it. You know that RF frequencies are really dangerous? That the director of the World Health Organization openly said that they contribute to brain cancer? And nobody in our country, not one public official, has come out and said that to the American people? Not one. Nobody. They would rather you just sat there like a good little idiot and followed their direction. Consume, 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 consume. Obey the internet. Consume. Yeah. They won't tell you that RF frequencies are coming out of that phone that could damage your brain cells. So I recommend to everybody, hold your phone outside and use a speakerphone. All right? Everyone in the family will know your biz, but it's a lot safer than standing there, getting brain cancer. I met a guy in 1985 that was dying of brain cancer, and he said to me, he knew it emphatically that it was his cell phone. he was one of the early users of the cell phone. He said it was strapped to his head practically all day long. Lo and behold, he came down with brain cancer. And it was a weird meeting. Out of the blue, he started talking to me. It's like, okay. I'm really glad he did, too, because I never would have known why he was wearing a bandana on his head. He probably had surgery marks from the tumors that were removed from his brain. I don't necessarily believe modern phones are safer than they were 10 years ago. Can you validate that with a link, please, Hawk? You heard not sure, but Dupster thinks that microwaves give off green gas in the air. Could be true. We know so little that the government's keeping from us. Scalar weapons and microwave weapons are so top secret, they won't even mention exactly what they're doing. I'm a little bit weirded out by the northwest sector here. We are a nuclear, biological, chemical testing center here in the Pacific Ocean. Oh, you are too on the East Coast. Now, the East Coast, all Atlantic seaboard is a nuclear, biological, chemical testing area. So, if you're weirded out by that, it's because it's weird. Now, I've written complaints about this. I've done my best to try to, make people aware of the dangers, but there is virtually nothing we can do. Virtually nothing we can do to stop it. Complaining about it isn't going to do it. I know a guy who sued, $50,000 lawsuit against the Navy, and he failed to stop unnecessary flights of jets over a populated area. So we're powerless. That's why we need a third party. Yeah. Yeah, weird weather conditions across the nation, and then Bernie Sanders trying to capitalize on it. I got this letter. I'm in Bernie land, by the way. This is Bernie land here in the Northwest, little Soviet Union. He sent a brochure in the postal box, and I had to throw it out immediately, that he's here to protect against climate change. What are they going to do? Cap and trade? At best, cap and trade will eliminate 17% of carbon waste by 2030. That's nothing. 17% by 2030 is nothing. Meanwhile, they continue to... Cowbell. Meanwhile, they continue to dump chemicals in the air, acting like they're doing nothing, causing a depletion of the ozone layer at a rapid rate. While Bernie's out there saying, I'm going to solve climate change. We're going to stop this. We're going to get all the money from the rich people. I should put my glasses on when I do that. Thank you. Good cowbell. I'm going to promise you whatever you want to hear. Everybody's going to have every kind of solution to every question they have. We're going to solve everything. We're going to get rid of the rich people. There's not one single idea out of his mouth. Ring that bell vigorously. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Did I hurt your ears? I'm sorry. Well, just tell me to stop doing my Bernie impression. Thank you. I'm just so sick and tired of the lies. I mean, these Democrats, they just get in front of the stage, they talk about nothing. They never mention GMOs. They never talk about, it took Bernie 8 years to come up with legalization of weed. As a senator, he never even promoted it. Now Vermont, because Bernie said that maybe he should go for legalization, now Vermont has a bill on the ballot. This is how quick these people work to get legalization of marijuana in Vermont. So, I mean, in a way, I'm glad Bernie's running for president because at least somebody can tell him things that other people actually think should be done. This is the only time they actually listen is during the campaign season, They just want to get reelected. They don't give a crap about you. They're just here to listen to people. So let's get into the show because we really have to talk to you in a more realistic way. So I have to ramp up my level of energy here. Let's do Can't Stop.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
Yeah.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
So let's be clear.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Sponheim for president.
Can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
First we hit 'em low, then we hit 'em high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head-on collisions. We make incisions with precision and quick decisions, causing double visions. If you ain't up to speed, you need to speed it up, partner. Piano read.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight.
Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop.
All right. We're getting the action now. That's fun, huh? You like that, huh? It's great. All right. Yeah. See how easy that was? Get a little exercise, get up. You can work out too when I'm doing that. I'm not just here to dance for you. I'm actually in need of constantly working out and making sure my abs are well toned. I know many of you black women are very attracted to me. I can't control that. Just remain attracted to me. You'll somehow finish yourself off with maybe thoughts of your lover. Full history exposed. Yeah. Did you hear what happened at the Tribeca Film Festival the other day? Yeah. Well, I believe it was Robert De Niro had a movie he was backing, and it was about vaccines. It's called Vaxxed, and they've been told that they can't play it. Yeah. Vaxxed is a really good documentary describing the dangers of vaccinations. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. This is more like North Korea here. Yeah, I know. You're seeing the telltale signs of a controlled society. You know, when a guy like Robert De Niro gets told he can't have a video playing in his theaters. Well, let's look at another one here. This is another story of Tribeca. Full history exposed. Tribeca Film Festival carrying out Nazi agenda of genocide, eugenics, and extermination via science and medicine. Wow, look at that. Tribeca Film, official state-run film festival of approved speech. With a massive backlash now mounting against Robert De Niro for censoring. He'd censored an independent film on vaccines. Thank you. De Niro did this. Thank you. The Tribeca Film Festival has been subjected to intense scrutiny across independent media as journalists seek to discover who got to De Niro and what did they threaten him with. Yeah, De Niro has always been a guy who claimed to have balls, you know. You looking at me? You looking at me? You know, that guy. He's not that good. No, he's kind of overrated. After being threatened by the vaccine industry, totalitarians, and science bullies, De Niro blackballed the Vax documentary from the Tribeca Film Festival, playing right into the hands of the state-run medical propagandists who are all pro-vaccine. Now you know. I had no idea that either, tinfoil hat. De Niro clearly is a shill of the vaccine industry. And De Niro recently announced he has a son with autism. So you'd think this would be something he'd be very serious about. Apparently they made him an offer he couldn't refuse, you know? Now I would play the trailer that Scissor Fight just presented. I actually have a copy of it. But if I play it, automatically my show is monetized and I can't play my videos in 16 or 18 countries. I'm blocked. So they've got me prevented from actually playing the trailer. Yeah, just so you know, it's a really serious trailer. It talks about real eyewitness accounts of people who have their kids with ADHD and autism. And the rate is skyrocketing. And what was interesting about the film Vaxxed is it dealt with testimony from an actual CDC employee, a supervisor named Thompson. And Thompson went out on a limb and presented all the data that the CDC was suppressing on the dangers of vaccinations. And Thompson speaks in this video. It's really, really good. I'm going to see the movie as soon as it comes out, but I mean, gosh, I wish I could play it for you right now, but they'd monetize me. It's ridiculous. Yeah, they're trying to shut down all of our broadcasts. They've censored me on the internet for so long, it's ridiculous. You go back to all of our views are so ridiculously low, you know they're faking them. We've got like 6 or 7 views on some videos that have been out for 3 years. It's just unbelievable. In 2011, my views went from 20,000 hits a week down to 20. I'm not kidding. Anybody has more viewers than me on the internet. It's bizarre. They just don't want a third party to get any notice whatsoever. But Thompson really did a good job. And in no way should he be in prison. He actually revealed the true hard statistics that were being suppressed by the CDC. This is the deal. Out of the study that they did on vaccinations, 38% of black kids who were vaccinated came down with autism. Now that's a massive rate of autism that cannot be overlooked. Even the current projections will be that by 2020, that's only 4 years away, half your kids will have autism or ADHD. I don't do anything for a living. I stopped working 5 years ago. I retired. Going on 6. Yeah, now I work all the time, but I don't make any money. Yeah, 38% in the study, in the abstract that was performed studying the vaccination's effectiveness, 38% came down with autism. And the CDC suppressed that story. That's why they don't want vax to get out, because that story is embedded in it from Thompson's mouth. Thompson's the only guy at the CDC with balls, in my opinion. I want to respect him. Just because he's a distant family member doesn't make any point of reference. I don't know. I've got some relatives in the Thompson family. You're on Social Security disability because of your autism? There you go. 143. He's getting a full check for life. There you go. Well, it's good your parents hooked you up. They were smart to get you hooked up to disability. All of you are suffering in some way or another from environmental contaminants. Instead of talking about those contaminants specifically and their effects, the Democrats are saying that they're going to stop the climate change. I mean, it's absurd. They don't even have any clue as to all the things that are happening right now that are causing these terrible mental problems in our country. And I feel compelled to talk about it on a daily basis because it really is extremely important that we talk about the pollution. We are being treated like insects. They literally are dumping chemicals on our head every day. Wow. You found a lead tire weight today. Well, try not to lick it, you know. Lick it. All right. Sauce, we've decided that you're not really providing any valuable chat here. So unless you come up with something intelligent to say, I'm going to ban you from the show. Yeah, false flags are unfolding all the time. They don't want to talk about this. This is something they don't want to talk about. You're suffering from orthorexia? Yeah. Well, this is an interesting thing. Many of you who look at the word conspiracy and talk about conspiracy theories, many of you think that it's like a wacky thing to talk about. I mean, even William Mount, a guy who now just makes up stories and fear-mongering just to get AdSense dollars. William Mount told me that he didn't want to do my show on Monday because I went from calling it Mount Monday to Conspiracy Monday. And he never called back again. Yeah, he doesn't want to be known as a conspiracy theorist because basically the term conspiracy theory was created in the 20th century to debunk alternative views that threaten establishment lies. And this story from National News pretty much sums it up. Okay, Fidel Castro blasts the Obama trip. This is after Raul tried to go tango with the president. I wouldn't doubt they cause baldness. I wouldn't doubt they cause a lot of things. I'm thinking chemtrails might be any number of possible contributing factors to boredom, depression, homosexuality. I mean, they could be dropping pheromones in your head to make you gay. I'm not saying they are, but it's possible. They are dropping lithium, for sure.
The American national anthem played by a Cuban military band. A warm handshake between leaders previously...
I'm not allowed to play CIA news. That would be monetized as well. Yeah, the CIA news is just a format for propaganda. Really? LAPD cars have a gay flag on every car? Many of you are beginning to think you're gay. I know. Some of you are suffering from homosexual panic. Fear of being gay. I know. I mean, it must be tough. All I'm saying is that you don't know what they're dropping. I've got a picture here, a little video of a man from NASA, the Goddard Space Station, talking about how they're dumping lithium on our heads. Now, this is from the horse's mouth, folks. It doesn't get any simpler than this. And by the way, this guy lost his job when he said this.
Right. There was lithium dispersed, and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I think you might be under some misconceptions about what we're doing, but I'm happy to tell you any details that you need.
Well, I know that it says in your article that you're doing it for communications.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to you more about it. There are many reasons we're doing it.
Okay.
We don't understand how the wind in the upper atmosphere moves. In these chemtrails, there's different kinds of chemtrails, as you probably know. Different trails at night we use, and different trails during the day. The wind blows them around. They glow either on their own or from scattered sunlight. We take pictures, and we can see how the wind trail moves around.
Yeah. Just like keep getting bigger. Like, wow.
Like, wow, man. Yeah, nothing but chemical pollution in the air. I'm not purging anything you say differing from me. In no way is this stifling your freedom of speech. I'm only purging things where people are accusing me of being things I'm not. I mean, I have the right to trim the chat to focus on what really matters. If you're trying to demoralize me, that's a purgeable offense. All right. Vax, the ABC News interview that Big Pharma didn't want you to see. This could be good. I'm sorry, we're not allowed to play this. Well, that was good. We just can't play it for you. Yeah. I know, they've trimmed my ship entirely. I can barely play anything. Remember I played that TED Talks yesterday about showing, or Saturday I played a TED Talks film showing a guy who claimed that he could seed clouds with chemicals and somehow levitate particles into the mesosphere. The guy's completely off his rocker. Well, they charged me with a violation on Saturday, monetization violation. Okay, let's skip to 140. Thank you. This is what you didn't see, an interview that did not appear.
Okay,
yeah.
We ready?
Hold on, let me turn my phone off. Right, I'm gonna put that over there.
Okay, so
all right, ready to go.
Okay, thank you. We're rolling.
Okay.
Whenever y'all are ready.
Great. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is just to say your name and spell it.
My name is Del Bigtree. That's first name D-E-L. My last name is Bigtree. B-I-G-T-R-E-E.
And what do you want your title to be on the screen?
Vaxxed from cover-up to catastrophe. Oh, my title personally? Producer.
Yes.
Producer.
Producer is the name of the film. Okay.
Yep.
So the first thing I wanted to ask you is, what made you want to be involved in this film when the idea first came to you to be a producer?
I have been a producer on the daytime talk show, The Doctors, the best medical talk show in the world. I'm known for doing stories that a lot of people don't want to touch. I've done stories about pesticides and GMO foods and pollution and how these things are affecting the health of people and their children. So I became aware of the CDC whistleblower story, and I was beginning to investigate it and look into it. And that led me all the way to Andy Wakefield. And I met Andy Wakefield and discovered that he had been working with Brian Hooker, and they had been speaking on the phone with a whistleblower from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control. And this whistleblower was saying that the CDC had committed fraud on the MMR study and that they believed that it was actually a connection between autism and this vaccine. And I looked at the data that the CDC whistleblower was providing to Andy and Brian, and it is the most compelling evidence of fraud I've ever seen in my life. And I realized in that moment that I was looking at probably the biggest story of my lifetime. And as a journalist, I realized it was a story I had to tell. And I had to help Andy Wakefield. Go ahead.
Okay, you didn't see this because they pulled it. They did not want anyone to know that the CDC is involved in a massive cover-up. Thompson was pulled from the detail that he was on as a supervisor, and he's been told that a gag order has been put on Thompson. This is not a fake video. Some of you are coming in here. Many of you may very well be COINTEL agents of the government. I'm going to purge your statements because this is a real video. Pipe down without that, calling it a fake. You're trying to discredit a real video. You're trying to take the only thing that couldn't be seen on the veritable mainstream media and shun it. I have never lied to the American people, ever, in my entire life. There you go. Jay's coming out of the closet, folks. JT he says he's in love with a man. That's right. He's coming out of the closet. All right, so well, you can disagree all you want, but I mean, I let you say it was fake a couple times, but I mean, spamming that, this is not fake. This is real.
Go ahead.
Did it concern you that Dr. Andy Wakefield had been accused of so many things and that his study from 2004 had been debunked?
It's absolutely concerning when you think about the history of Andy Wakefield. When you look at a career I had a great career as a medical producer on a great show, to leave that and work with something like Andy Wakefield is, most people would say it's, career suicide. So that's why I had to investigate Andy Wakefield before I ever went near this story. And I did all of my research, and I looked very deep into the fraud surrounding Andy Wakefield and his career. And it would fill a whole book or a whole other movie if I was to explain to you every detail that I found. So let me just say this. The world lost one of the greatest scientific minds of our times when Andy Wakefield was taken from us. This was a man who was doing studies that were going to lead to healthier vaccines and better ways to take care of the health of our children.
Okay, so let's take a look at, we'll do a search of Andy Wakefield here. Yeah, I know it's a lot to handle. It really is. So if you want to just shut out every single thing you see, claiming it's a conspiracy, you're missing the whole point. I mean, there's all kinds of conspiracies in the world. People have been conspiring for years. Andy Wakefield, let's take a look. Death. Yeah, Aaron Rousseau exposed a tremendous amount of scissor fight. He did a great movie called From Freedom to Fascism. Aaron Rousseau ended up dying shortly after that of bladder cancer, which mimics arsenic poisoning. Yeah, you guys can bury your head in the sand if you want, but Dr. Andrew Wakefield, his study and his claim that the MMR vaccine caused autism could have led to his death. I mean, they're willing to kill many people. 15 holistic doctors have died exposing a dangerous chemical called nagalase, which is found in vaccines. You can look up that word if you don't believe it. It'll show you the whole story. Yeah. I'm trying to give you guys tips. Look, I used to say, oh, that's wacky. I really did. I was the same as you. I would say, oh, they couldn't possibly be dumping chemicals in the atmosphere. They'd need government approval, right? No, they don't. This is a complete hidden shadow government operating within our government that are doing this. They're getting away with it. Our government is comprised of a bunch of imbeciles. Most of them who are getting into government today are just greedy. And many of them are alcoholics. So they're manipulatable. They could easily be convinced to do anything that their handlers tell them to do. But the mysterious body of a doctor who linked vaccines to autism is found floating in the water. This is Dr. Jeff Bradstreet, helped families. He's another guy. Yeah, anyway. Andrew Wakefield. Okay, look, I have yet to see Trump take my blimp plane idea. But if he really is in any way trying to take the blimp plane idea, there is just no limit to what he's trying to do. If he really is. But I don't know for sure. I can't confirm that. If you can give me any credible link showing me Trump talking about the blimp plane, that'd be great. Well, all I can say is I'm shocked. This guy is blatantly stealing my ideas. He's doing it with a gusto. And I'm not prosecuting because I can't. There's no way I can't copyright any of these ideas, but the history, the record shows that I've talked about these for 8 years. All right. I just want to focus on other things. Obviously, this is the mysterious body of a dead man, Jeffrey Bradstreet, who was trying to expose the dangers of vaccinations. One of many. I don't know. I don't wear a rug. I have original hair. This is my original hair. Okay, let me take a look at what Andrew Wakefield, he wrote The Age of Autism. Oh, he's still alive. Yeah, he didn't die. Okay, they're claiming he had a fraudulent paper in 1998. Okay, well, he's still alive, so I don't know. He's not dead. Okay, you make a video. Do whatever you want. Discover for yourself that you're censored. Just be sure to add @ThirdParty to your video, and you'll be censored. Guaranteed. Yes, I am in favor of LGBT rights, but I'm also telling states to not offer marriage contracts if they choose to not offer same-sex marriage contracts. You can't give contracts to anybody. Yeah, so I'm just telling all states to nullify. Okay, let's take a look at it. Yes, Lockheed Martin, along with Boeing, are creating a blimp plane, and they have been doing that ever since I went to a conference in 2009 promoting it. I went to the Beyond Oil event, talked to the Boeing executives and Lockheed representatives at that event, and I talked about the blimp plane there, and then now I find out they're trying to build one. Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. I'm leading in all different directions. I'm way ahead of you. This is not his idea. No, has no Trump written all over it. There's no Trump in this statement at all. Just get me some proof before you make accusations. Thank you. I don't need mods. No, I'm doing very well. I read all the chat, every last word that you painstakingly type in with your fingers. I can see your fingers moving right now. I don't need mods. I don't need meds. I'm really well adjusted and a good chatter, and gosh darn it, people like me. No, Trump is basically showing you that you don't have a chance in American politics. He's simply telling you that his money can buy you. He can buy anything. You're basically completely owned. Yeah. So that's one way, he's convincing everybody that he owns the political scene, is he's just showing you how greedy people work. I'm not feeding you with BS at all. No, this is all real stuff. We have a daily show that focuses on, we've been doing this for 8 years. I mean, we've got things happening. The people of the world must eradicate. Yeah, definitely.
America's Third Party.
.com. I've got all kinds of little clips that I could play. I just don't want to bore you with, information that really can't be verified. So we've got a lot of concern right now that a lot of the stories that we are hearing, whether it's a Brussels attack or the Paris shooting or Umpqua Community College or the San Bernardino shooting, all the evidence, and there's very little evidence, scant evidence, all the evidence points to a cover-up, false flag. This is not a Jeb Bush campaign. No, I'm so far from Jeb Bush, it's ridiculous. I'm a centrist. Okay. All right. I didn't think the Trump blimp is a good example of Trump talking about my blimp plane. So that's not a good example either. And that's just a de facto Trump support statement. Well, I think we covered all the significant and pertinent data. We can now go to bed. So for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to ask all of you to rest your solenoids and all your digital circuitry. We're going to go into a meditative state where we approach nirvana. So let's get ready. I'm just kidding. Time to wake up, everybody. Jade Helm is still in operation that the government is engaged in to trigger martial law. What is overhauling? I don't know what overhauling is, 836. Clarify. I'm not your dad. I'm just here to scare the living daylights out of you. The future will be a UN-controlled martial law state of America if we let the two-party system continue. They are already aligning with the UN and turning our nation into the vestibule of international elitists who can control our operations in our country against our will because they own all the politicians. This is a time to stand up to this, everybody. This is a time to talk to everybody you can about a third party. This is it. There's never been a more important time to push this to the envelope, the ultimate envelope. Solving every single problem in America will be impossible. Solving one problem will be impossible with a two-party system, but solving every single problem in America will be impossible for anybody. But we have to start moving forward to solve the problems that are rolling out in front of you right here. The American people don't want their kids forced vaccinations. They don't want a Federal Reserve printing up money and giving it to big corporations left and right, too big to fail companies. They don't need Bernie Sanders because he's a socialist who wants to literally tax the working class to pay for the non-working class. Yeah, so what they've created is this operation. Jade Helm. And Jade Helm actually is simply the brainchild of artificial intelligence. It's all it is. Basically, they put information into the computer systems, and they said, well, what happens if the population increases without any changes in the environment other than bad changes? Without cleaning the water, without fixing the food crisis, without in any way helping the earth, what will happen to the human race if the population increases? And the computer said, oh, we're screwed. We're screwed. So what they want to do is they're trying to put in place a UN-operated FEMA system designed to literally incarcerate 80 to 90% of our population. They'll trigger it. Hi there, green-eyed girl. They'll trigger it with a pandemic or any number of reasons. God knows what. I mean, but the fact of the matter is, if we elect a person like Trump, he is much like Hitler. If we elect a person like Hillary, she is also much like Hitler. They pulled their entire plan from the Nazi communist agenda. They're simply using those as tools to promote their ultimate agenda, which is depopulation. Yeah, they could create a zombie apocalypse. They're doing all kinds of weird things. They're actually testing a rabies Ebola vaccine right now. I'm not Alex Jones.
If I was Alex Jones, I'd talk more like this. And everyone will be worried about the establishment breaking down and ultimately putting all of us in prison.
But I'm not. I'm actually endorsing a way out, a third party. See this? See that up there? Alex Jones won't support a third party. He won't support anyone in particular. He's just a shill for Donald Trump. It's ridiculous. You can run for president, but you will face the same obstacles I've faced. You will get no exposure, no mainstream media attention in 8 years of doing this. You can reach out to as many people as you can on the internet, but it's simply a null issue. It's a null point. You won't be able to go beyond that point. Now, Bernie's more like this. Say Bernie was talking to Alex. I'm telling you, I'm going to try to help. I'm going to try to help all of Wall Street get rid of their money and give it to you.
Oh, come on. Come on, Senator. There's no way you're going to do that. You know, what are you going to do? You're going to give it to everybody?
Well, I'm trying to tell you that what we need is a $15 trillion infusion of money into our system. We've got to do everything we can to get that money.
Oh, come on, Senator. You're sounding more like one of the Illuminati.
What's the Illuminati? Oh my gosh, I'm going to stop the Illuminati too. Everyone must know that I just found out about this new word called the Illuminati, and I'm going to do everything I can to stop, so please vote for me. All right. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Planes did this to me. Sauce, you're about ready to go. You not only have you not come into the room with any intent or seriousness, but you're asking people for money. That's ridiculous. No, I don't sell products. That's my point. I'm not a shill guy. I've done this with no profit whatsoever for the past 7 or 8 years. Not a penny has come into my pocket from any of this. If anybody's not a shill, it's me. Okay? I'm the only guy that's standing up against all kinds of alienation and obstinate rejection from countless idiots out there. I'm standing up because I know I have to do this. I have to fight for your rights. If I don't, nobody else will. All right? This is a pretty interesting... The Trump blimp plane has been developed already. There you go. I'm sure. You're creating it on the fly now. Put the blackface YouTube video. That was hilarious. Yeah, Jay. You can go to my YouTube site and click on it, and it won't actually register a hit. You can certainly go there, and I gladly give you the name. It's right here, and you can see all the blackface videos you want. I don't in any way support the idea of racism. All right? There's nothing about a blackface video that I consider racist. Nothing. I'm simply impersonating the worst, most disturbing, lying, two-faced president we've ever had. It wouldn't matter if he was white, Hispanic, Asian. I would have done a yellow-faced ad if he was one Asian. I mean, seriously, the whole thing is ridiculous. To call a person a racist for simply impersonating the president, using my free speech, I'm a victim here. A victim of your critical name-calling. Yeah? Well, I think all government is pretty much separating from any ethical base. Well, I guess I'm going to be having a Halloween show on Halloween. Yeah. Gold is down again, 12.21. Silver is hovering at 15.25 per ounce. And the Dow Jones still right where it was before, 17,535. We are in the doldrums. Everything is controlled. Hello, Explorist. I am a victim of affirmative action, that's right. I have green eyes. Yes, we are having a Halloween show. We have one every year. There are no allegations that are true about me. None. What are you alleging? No, please don't talk about a large body part. My hair is up 47%. Stock tip, yes, don't invest. Unless you got mega bucks, don't invest. You're better off playing blackjack. No, my alleged IQ is true. I was tested with 185 IQ in 1976. The reason I can't give you the proof is because it's locked up in my CUME folder. Yes, Oklahoma is going to eliminate 200 teaching jobs. You like my hair? Thank you. That's very, very kind of you to say nice things about me. My eyes are not shifting between reptilian and normal at all. They're really normal eyes. Are you dealing with color blindness or something? Well, Albert Einstein had a lower IQ than I have. He was so stupid he came up with a theory that can't be proven, which is ridiculous, based on the idea that he could somehow create an exponential reaction with nuclear material. And that led to the ultimate threat against humanity that we have today. So how smart can you be when all you can think of is a way to destroy the world 1,000 times over? I mean, really. That's like Stephen Hawking, who also has a lower IQ than I have, sitting in his elaborate wheelchair, never able to actually achieve an erection, and then sitting there and claiming that the only solution for humanity is to get off the planet. Is that absurd? In his infinite genius, he can't even solve the air problem, the water problem, the food problem, and you people who come in this room don't even understand that. You see, if the artificial intelligence system that the computer uses, JADE 2.0, was simply told, hey, if you add variables like cleaner air, cleaner water to an enlarged population, what would be the net result? The answer would automatically be humanity will survive and the human race will continue to function and prosper for 1,000 years. Instead, they loaded up the garbage that came into that computer with BS from the elitists who simply want to get rid of the population. And that was a simple answer. We must achieve military control, prepare for martial law, and adjust ordnance and munitions in certain areas so that the UN can take over all military operations in the United States of America. That's what they're planning. Oh yeah, and they're using fluoride to dumb you down too. I'm not giving you any delusions, folks. These are facts. You're just living in a world of darkness. I'm illuminating a little bit of your darkness, but I'm not an Illuminati member. I'm giving you straight facts, truth as it's hard cut right out of the refrigerator. If I were serving you right now, you'd be getting a solid piece of sausage and a nice piece of aged cheese. No, I'm not delusional. Never have been, never will be. Never been insane either. I basically am a super sane person. Nope, can't do anything with my brain. Can't move objects. I'm not a comedy act either. I'm entertaining, but I'm not a comedian. I'm trying to make politics fun for you. Some of you just don't get that. OCP CPS. Oklahoma City Public Schools will eliminate over 200 teaching positions as the state faces a budget hole. Nope, Connie actually was saying things which, frankly, I could easily claim she's got mental problems. But I'm not. She was jealous of me. She sued me in court. Who sues their own brother in court? Tell me that's a person who's got their act together. Yeah. No, it's absurd. Anybody who says things like that is obviously upset. She was upset. She was suing me in court, and she totally recanted everything she said. In fact, she told that reporter she wanted to pull the story. I'm not a natural comedian. No, I'm trying to tell you I'm the funniest guy alive, but I'm not a comedian. I'm not here to in any way profit whatsoever. Now, my sister is out traveling now, so, she's doing her thing, which I think is great. I never said she was mentally ill, but she had a chance to tell the truth, and she never did. Yeah. Calling me names like that really is slander. She sued me because she was jealous she didn't get enough in the will. That's basically it. She claimed I'd committed fiduciary violations, which I had not done. Nope, don't have any anger toward my sister. I just feel it's pretty pathetic and sad that she has to, threaten me like she did. She felt compelled to threaten me in the media because she wasn't in any way prevailing in a lawsuit. Nope, I didn't retire early because of any money I received from a will. I do live in a house that I received from the will, but not money. No, I never slandered my sister. I said that would be like calling her mentally ill. She slandered me, though. I'd have to take her to court to do that again, but I don't really want to do that. Nope, never been a fraud. All these ridiculous allegations, I'm going to turn guest chat off because many of you are standing there making ridiculous accusations about me, which have no bearing in truth whatsoever. I've never had any mental problems in my life. I have a perfect record. I think I have one ticket to my record. One ticket. And I think I was in the right. I made a U-turn in Hollywood, which was normally a regular U-turn. And the cop pulled me over and said it was an illegal U-turn in the District of Hollywood. That's absurd. I didn't argue with him. I said, thank you, sir, and, went on my way. That's the only thing on my record is one ticket for making a U-turn in a public street. It's pretty funny. Yeah, so criticizing me and calling me names is not going to make me go away, guys. You got nothing on me. I'm crystal clean, 100% pure when it comes to a record. And I have absolutely nothing to lose by running for president. Nothing at all. And you have something to gain by having me as your president because I will seriously get accountability from these corrupt people in government. I will go out of my way to reveal the truth about Barack Obama's fake birth certificate. He will be charged with a crime. Now, you notice Donald's not talking about this anymore. You notice that? Because he was never really a true birther. I've been a birther since we started in 2007. For 7 years, I've known for a fact that Barack Obama lied about his birth certificate. And it doesn't take a conspiracy theorist to prove it. I actually have witnesses. I've got a radio interview with one of the top-notch document experts, Doug Vogt, who testified to me on the radio show that this is definitely a forged document. Thank you. You enjoy my fun, bantering ways? Thank you. Well, I will pursue a fraud charge against Barack Obama as president. Donald Trump won't do that. We will be able to erase and nullify Obamacare, which is a huge step in the right direction, believe me. By the way, Obamacare, the site is dysfunctional. It's got security breaches right now, and our government has spent $2 billion on that website, not to mention the $1.5 trillion on Obamacare over the lifetime of the plan. What I want to do with bank savings account interest rates, let's talk specifically about getting people perks for investing. I have a credit union where I get a 7.5% return on a $1,000 investment. That's about as good as we're going to get. In this tough environment, we can only limit the amount of money that can earn a good interest rate. But I can tell you that student loans, and I talked to Sarah about this, student loans need to be readjusted on a national basis. Now, 200 teachers are being laid off in Oklahoma because they can't afford to pay them. So I can't tell you that your four-year education will get you a job. I honestly can't. But I can tell you that your interest on your student loan is insane. It's usurious. I was reviewing a document that Scissorfied brought last week of the cost of how much money is paid back in student loans over the lifetime of a 9-year period. Only a small portion of the principal gets paid back. So what I'm going to do for the American people when I become president is renegotiate the entire FAFSA loan system, which is a $1.3 trillion debt load that people pay out right now. I'm going to renegotiate that note under one huge plan, much like we backed essentially the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae insurance plans for home mortgages to the tune of $11 trillion. The government did that. We can take that $1.3 trillion and renegotiate it at lower interest for everybody. That's what I'm going to set my eyes on, because I believe that your education should not be beyond what you got paid to go to school. Right now, you're going to be paying 3 or 4 times more for your education funding by the time you finish paying it off under the existing plan. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We've got usurious rates that are screwing the average American. And that's one of the only ways you're going to get ahead in this world is with an education. And we're also going to roll out a 6-week to 6-month certification plan where you can actually earn a certificate partnered with the local private sector to get a job right away if you get a B or above average. C averages won't cut it. But we're going to try to get the best quality people, B or above, to do jobs and earn about $20-25 an hour to start. That's the way to fix the economy. We've got so many people draining our economy right now who are professors, milking off the budget of the universities. It's unbelievable. The average professor makes about $160,000 a year. It's ridiculous, preposterous. They overcharge for college and for books. Books have like a 50% markup. It's ridiculous. Plus, you guys who have student loans outstanding, you're like screwed for life. It's that bad. Bernie's not talking about any substantive plans. I've got plans up the yin-yang. Okay? We want to get rid of everybody on the SEC. Fire every one of them. Hire watchdog people who know the excesses in Wall Street, who know who the perps are that are doing insider trading. Bernie doesn't have that idea. He has nothing. Mad Dog has a link to our book if you want to buy it. Is that still functioning? Oh, it's still popping a book. Yeah, I got to tell Sarah. Yeah, our original book is not that book link. America's Third Party has a link for the store. It takes you to the Amazon store, which has a Kindle version for 99 cents. So our website has our poster on it, and you can actually right-click this poster and download it. And you can put this poster up. Simply save it and email it to OfficeMax, and they'll print this up for $1 on cardstock, color on cardstock. One twice as big for $2. So this is a way to support us and to get me behind this plan. I'm going to have to do a new picture for this because it's getting a little old. Yeah, you've been depressed. I know. It's okay. I'm not banning you because I know you're kind of working things out. Thank you for at least admitting that. That's okay. No, he can be depressed all he wants. He has every right to be depressed. A lot of you have a good reason to be depressed, but you have to step out of that depression. And one of the secrets I use to get out of depression is I drink coffee. Thank you. It's a great read. I appreciate that. We made it pretty basic. We have a simple plan for America, but it will work. And the plan will work well into the future. We need to get mass production of certain products that will lower our electricity costs, and somebody can get a job putting up the products that we're talking about. One of the products that I'm discussing is solar panels for the rooftop. And I have a plan to actually get these amazing new solar panels out there, mass-produced, and installed. The government has created this, by the way. These are solar carpets, ostensibly, that will roll out and lay on top of rooftops. Now, this is a brand new link to the government operation that's creating these for the U.S. military. So we will be using that design and producing a lot more solar panels, so much so that we will actually be able to afford to pay for your rooftop initially. And anyone who installs these will make a couple $1,000s. So people will be wanting to get training, 6-week training in how to install solar panels on rooftops. 6 weeks, you'll be ready to go. And the government will provide the initial infrastructure to get these things up on rooftops. How do we get paid? Over time. Believe me, the corporation will not allow it. I know that, Noble Watchman. Why do you think I'm building this third party? We're going to nullify the corporate leaders who are controlling the two-party system. A third party knocks down all of the corporate structure around an oligarchy. We are looking at a National Socialist plan under Hillary or under Trump. Either way, it sounds like communism or fascism. And a third party nullifies all of their power that they have. I'll be able to do this right out of our U.S. government operation. I will be running a U.S. military operation initially to get these things rolled out and mass-produced. I didn't forget my grill. Have you checked this out? This is insider design, okay? Nice. Immaculately constructed things. I'll check it out. Thanks for sharing that link, Dogbone. Well, it could be a big slip and slide. It could also be a brand new roof for some of you who have leaks. You can imagine these things will seal your leaks. They are also waterproof, so when they cover your entire rooftop, you will not have to worry about leaks coming through. Yeah, you're going to save $20,000 on a roof. I mean, that's a big double plus. And as you save money on electricity, the government gets paid back. We take a portion of your savings from your electricity, and you still save on top of that, because these electricity producers will keep pushing electricity into the grid, which we will then monetize and make money back. Ain't no slow leak. Well, some of you may be worried about a rooftop coming up in your home, and this is another alternative. All right, so obviously government and corporations controlling everything has kind of got a lot of you people thinking, well, there's no way we can do anything. So what's your solution? Just sit there and wait for the FEMA camp to come zip tie you and take you away? I mean, seriously, I'm offering solutions here. Yeah, $20,000 for a roof is not uncommon. You didn't know that? Go price out a roof in your area and see how much it costs. $20,000 is a low price. Low price, yeah. You could pay upwards of $50,000 for a roof if you go to a high-end company. Yeah. Well, I don't know where you're getting your roofs done, but it must be Alabama. Because out here, best deal you could get is about $20,000 for a big roof. Okay, FBI unlocked San Bernardino shooter's phone, can now finally determine what level of Candy Crush he reached. Yeah. Well, the FBI is up to some weird stuff with this San Bernardino shooting. There were 3 witnesses. Actually, there were multiple witnesses to 3 men that were shooting in the San Bernardino shooting event, which may or may not have killed people. I don't know. But the witnesses said that there were 3 men wearing black outfits. They were white men. So why did the FBI target these 2 Muslim people? A little woman, short woman, and a guy who had a weird beard. Never really wanted to drop out of college. No, I would never drop out of college. I left in good standing. Yeah, I like the fact that I could always go back and finish up, you know. When I'm 80, I might go back to UCLA. Well, how are you doing? I mean, imagine how many of the women that would walk up and go, wow, what are you doing here? You're 80 years old. Look, dropping out does not mean not completing it. No, I left in good standing as an honors student. I just didn't agree with my communist professors. Any electric idea that costs millions is a joke. Yeah, that doesn't cost millions. That solar panel that I showed you a few minutes ago only costs about $10,000 to cover your rooftop. That'll be paying for itself in about 5 years. It'll be paid for completely. Yeah, the roof of your trailer would cost like $500 with labor. See? Sauce Kit or not knows the price of solar panels. I priced out a rooftop for my car. $500. Yeah. I can get flexible solar panels for about $2 a watt right now on the internet. I was thinking of putting an entire covering over my roof because the roof paint was kind of pitting on one of our cars. And I'm still thinking about it. Nope. Have nothing to do with him. No. Hey, I'm going to ban you. Yeah, you're not really a good person here. Yeah, your house will break out in 15 years. That's because your solar rooftop cost $25,000. This solar rooftop will be under $10,000. That's why it's going to pay for itself in 5 years. Plus, we're making much more effective solar panels now. We're reducing the cost of production. We've got a hydrogen ion generator doing slices of silicate that the Chinese can't compete with that. We're going to be cutting the cost of solar panels. We're going to be seeing a brand new industry born in America eventually. But we've got to get the venture capitalists out of the scenario because they're just sucking money. Barack Obama gave Solyndra $530 million of your tax money. Or the interest on your tax money is the interest on the money we borrowed to give to that company. And we'll never get that company money back. It's all gone. So by the way, the company called Apple, which Donald Trump said we should boycott because they wouldn't reveal encrypted data, is now completely in the clear. The FBI has dropped their lawsuit, and they probably watched John McAfee talk about how anybody can crack a phone. And he even said on his little spiel, he said that if the FBI doesn't know that, to have them call. So, I mean, here Donald Trump is completely technologically illiterate, making statements like you should boycott a company that's successful in America. This is the kind of businessman you want to be president? Seriously? A guy running down the only company that succeeded so well making products over the past 30 years in America? I mean, my God. Trying to protect your encrypted data? And Donald Trump wants to boycott that company. Well, now the FBI has reversed their claim and they said, no problem, we're backing off. So you must be an imbecile, Mr. BB Jeans. The FBI said Monday it successfully used a mysterious technique without Apple Inc.'s help to hack into the iPhone. A mysterious technique. McAfee said anybody could do this. Yeah. Donald Trump is essentially a person who's been borrowing my ideas, acting like they're his own, has lots of money, and isn't going to give you any money. I'm offering micro loans to people of $1,000 once I become president. You know, I don't know. Sarah's out right now. She sometimes comes home late. Well, frankly, I never came from Mexico, so you can't deport me. I was born in America. Heavy duty, that's not funny. You're going to meet old white hair someday wondering who's going to help you when you're in distress. You'll eat those words someday. Mark my words, heavy duty. You'll be an old man someday going, oh, I can't believe I was dissing all those old people. If you're lucky, you'll get to be an old man. Well, encryption is going to be pretty far off, I'll tell you that. There won't be any need to break through encryption layers. Encryption really protects our privacy and protects our financial security as well. So why would Donald Trump want to break encryption? Encryption is ostensibly the only thing preventing you from getting your entire credit line taken from somebody walking by you with a fob reader. There are people that have these tools that they can actually read your credit cards now as you walk by them. We'll be talking about that on Thursday, Technology Thursday. They didn't make these credit cards more safe, they made them more vulnerable. The RFID chipping that they're putting in them now makes them completely hackable. Can you believe this? I mean, the government's 10 years behind technology and they're trying to tell people what to do. The FBI came up with a mysterious technique. It's called breaking through the assembly code of the software itself. No, that's not a clip-on tie. It's a real full-on tie. You can see it right there. Only the best. Well, I'm sure the quantum computers can break through a lot of encryption systems. You know, one of the best things about the 128-bit encryption system is it is relatively unhackable. That's why the financial district is still relatively safe. Every single time you make a credit card payment online, it creates a digital handshake with the receiver, which produces a random 128-bit encrypted code. Nobody listening in could actually break through that code. But that's enough of the technical aspect. I don't want to give you any more ideas than I can share. There's karma and there's, oh, hell yeah, karma. Let's take a look. A sex offender was killed by a runaway trailer while watching porn. Wow, this story looks very interesting. Well, we're battling all groupthink tactics, Double Watchman. This whole show is about stopping the propaganda and battling those evil ways the government is using to control our minds. Convicted rapist killed by runaway trailer while watching porn.
Witnesses say 55-year-old Kevin Jordan may never have known what hit him when he was walking along a sidewalk in Memphis, Tennessee Wednesday night. That's when a runaway 15-foot trailer hauling tires made a beeline straight for him. Jordan died at the scene where the phone he was carrying revealed he had reportedly been watching porn. Jordan has a lengthy rap sheet dating back to the early 90s when he served time for aggravated rape. He was arrested just last year for indecent exposure, though his fiancée tells WMC-TV that Jordan was simply urinating in public and he had turned his life around.
He had his life in order.
The trailer came unhitched from the 2008 Dodge Ram when the driver hit a bump in the road. That man was not cited for what's been deemed a freak accident.
A freak accident killing a freak. Yeah, that's a double whammy. We don't know exactly the condition of his body when he was found. Okay. Wow.
Right now at 6, small town.
That's a pretty good story, thanks. Okay, we have a very somber note in our room here. Heavy Duty says, my dad died at 43, his dad 45, my aunt had a stroke and a heart attack at 46. I'd done massive amounts of coke, he said, in my 20s. I'm a smoker and I weigh 220 pounds. My death is near. Thank you, Heavy Duty, for telling us. Okay, I want to give you a ray of hope. Yeah, thank you. I know it's true. You're trying to speak out about your life and your history of heart disease in your family. I know, man. You're telling it like it is. I appreciate that. I'm going to give you a link here of a best-selling author and a leading researcher in healthcare. His name is Dr. Dean Ornish, and he has reversed heart disease in 18% cases. Dr. Dean Ornish has been very, very successful with diet, with people that have hardening of the arteries, and even if you're smoking, man, you can still eat certain foods that'll help release the plaque and prevent it from clogging your arteries, which would lead to a heart attack. That's just something to look at. You can just check out his site. I know it helped my father live another 12 years beyond his heart attack. And Dean Ornish has gotten a lot of press, but the mainstream media won't really give him the kind of press he needs. Because, okay, check it out. Because he is claiming diet prevents heart attacks, he's not treated with that much respect. Big Pharma doesn't get any perks from listening to somebody like him. But his dietary plan will help prevent heart disease, even if you're in a situation where you could die. So yeah, there's always hope. Even at 220, you're not completely over the top. You can still pull your weight. Well, if you're 5 feet tall and 220, it definitely affects you. But yeah, give it a shot. Check it out. Noble Watchman had a catastrophic stroke in 92 and has had 5 heart attacks in the last 10 years, and you have 7 stents in your heart arteries. Well, you need to check that link out too. Dean Ornish has a really good diet plan, and it's worked. It's helped people. Yeah, you've had a lot of serious medical attention given to you guys. 7 stents, wow. My father was one of the first people to get stents. He was number 200 in the world. And like I said, he lived 12 years with his stents, and his stents didn't kill him. He would have lived another 15 years. Had he just been able to stop cancer. Cancer was what finally got him. I'm not rich at all. Well, Obama became president in a 75% white America, Black Wamba, because people who are white and Democrats tend to suffer from a thing called white guilt. It's a serious mental problem. It's partly generated by propaganda. They think that somehow they were responsible for black people who were slaves. And they're always concerned about the plight of Native Americans. They don't realize Native Americans were killing each other just as much as white people were killing Native Americans prior to us arriving here. You know, I would recommend not doing any heavy exercise plans if you have your predisposition to heart attacks. They say to be really normal and healthy, you have to get your blood pressure up 3 times a week with a good hard walk. So I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving you some tips on how to maintain exercise and improve your body's stamina. I can tell you I am part Native American. And if you don't know the history of Native Americans, you must realize that the Comanches and the Apaches were mortal enemies. The Comanches actually had a small group of the tribe which were cannibalistic and like to eat their enemies. I mean, there's a lot of things you don't know about the Native American history if you don't look into it. So if you really feel really bad about Native America, I mean, the fact is, I mean, they're screwing each other over right now with casino money. I would like to see a plan where we can actually spread a portion of the casino profits from all the Native American casinos among all the Native American people. That's not happening right now. So anticipate a new treaty proposed by my administration for the Native American people. They can look at it, they can say no, they don't want to do it, that's fine. But I'm looking at something to help people who are really down and out and living in very, very far off places like South Dakota. The Black Hills of South Dakota, they're so poor that they are literally living hand to mouth every month. It's pretty sad. Hi there, Sir Waffles. Good evening. Yeah. Brother Trucko says, testosterone will mess up your heart bad, too. I had an enlarged heart at only the age of 28 and only dabbled in weightlifting. Yeah, so steroids can mess with your body, too, Brother Trucko. Remember Lyle Alzado? Lyle Alzado was a classic example of a guy who he claimed his steroid use caused his brain cancer. And he was a massive guy at one point, and a massive football player who ended up dying and claimed that it was steroids, but the government and the AMA, they never ever admitted the use of steroids can cause brain cancer. But yeah, he lied about his steroid use. He became a national figure in American politics. In American media. And he ended up dying. Yeah, look at a big guy using steroids. Well, DT Laura, hello. I'm so sorry. Did I not say hello to you? I'm sorry I didn't say hello to you. So I started our show out talking about the biggest conspiracy of all, which is healthcare. And I talked about how literally healthcare in America is so expensive. The average person is paying $7,700 if you're fully insured. And you can get this entire kitchen for $7,700. So why would we be ripped off to that $7,700 a year by these scumbag doctors and trustees at hospitals that screw us over every time we get sick? Because it's a conspiracy. Well, it's a conspiracy to keep the price of healthcare too high. That's why it's a conspiracy. They basically kept the number of doctors who enter the practice to a minimum. So what I'm going to encourage is bringing in doctors from Cuba at a lower salary than doctors in America get, so that our public hospitals would be staffed with some bilingual Cuban doctors just to get started. We're going to encourage a program where people can get a full physician's degree when they are willing to pay back that portion of the loan in work service. at public hospitals and nonprofit hospitals. So we're going to try to lower the cost of healthcare that way. The method that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are proposing obviously is ridiculous. It's costing us 30% more for healthcare under Obamacare on average, and we're never getting any money out of it long term. They're just screwing us over. Oh yeah. They just keep raising the cost. The average healthcare professional gets 18% raises every year. I don't know how many of you working in the real workplace get 18% raises. And they've got that way that, yeah, they charge $80 a bottle for aspirin. It's just crazy. I know of a guy who went in with chest pains at a local hospital and came out with a $15,000 price tag for one day. You think I look like Timothy Leary? Really? Oh, that's interesting. You want a hug, David Nation. Wow. Well, he died in 1996. He was the guru of LSD. Tandalea has been online lately. I think she's traveling. Yeah. I don't look a bit like him. You're saying my hairstyle looks like him. Don't do acid. It'll mess you up bad. Yeah, I can't endorse doing LSD. I met a young woman. She was with her dad. She was like 21 years old, and she had the mind of a 5-year-old girl. And I talked to her dad at length. He was the person I used to visit. Or he visited me. I used to work in a retail store for many years. And he would tell me about his story. He was an artist in Newport Beach, a very successful artist. He's financing her health care with his art. But he told me about what happened to his daughter. When she was 7 years old, they were in Hollywood in 1967. And it was, Hollywood was full of LSD at the time. And he left his daughter for a second to go run over to a group of kids that were sitting around in a circle. And it was like no big deal. He just said, oh, she's going over there to play. And they handed her 3 hits of acid. And she was a normal girl at that time, at 7 years old. And they handed her 3 hits of blotter acid. And she took them. And from then on, her life was changed forever. She was a basket case. She'd had a really, really bad trip. She never came back. His whole life, he spent taking care of her. She was like this big girl, like completely overweight and unable to handle anything. She literally, it's pathetic, she was like trapped in her body. And I realize now that you don't play around with that stuff, guys. You really can lose your marbles taking LSD. So don't just think it's a big joke. It's not. You walk out as a babbling idiot someday. I was with a guy in college who took 2 hits of purple microdot, which was a college LSD thing that was, I will. And the 2 hits of purple microdot, he was up for 24 hours. I was helping him the whole time. I stayed up the whole time trying to help him. He was freaking out. He was seeing skeletons and blood and all kinds of things. In the elevator, we were taking an elevator. He said, do you see that? I said, what? You see the skeleton hand, man, and the blood? And no, I don't see. He said, yeah, I know it's not real, but it's real, man. It's like, okay. I talked him down. That's what a real friend does. I helped him through that. And in the end, he ended the friendship. he couldn't handle the fact that I had so much knowledge about him and so many secrets he had told me that he had to end the relationship. Yeah. Yeah, I do look a little like David Caruso, yeah. I've got a picture that will show you that I clearly have similar facial features. He's small, though, compared to me. I'm tall. He's short. I don't drink alcohol. He drinks alcohol. No, it wasn't my boyfriend. The guy I was talking to, because I'm not gay, but the guy I'm talking about is a guy who revealed a lot of things to me. He revealed to me that his father was a child molester. That was pretty freaky. When people tell you too many secrets, believe me, they'll end the relationship. It's some pretty heavy stuff, man, yeah. It's just he told me too many secrets. He just felt like he had to end the relationship. Yeah, I said fine, I don't really care. There's David Caruso in my face. Comparisons. All right, so we've got a little story here. Scroll down for the next story. Oklahoma joins California as earthquake risk zone due to man-made quakes. Earthquake potential in Oklahoma is still continuing after all the fracking that's been done by greedy petroleum producers. Oil producers in Oklahoma really didn't expect the price of oil to drop as radically as it's done. But it's really affected the ground. Earthquakes all over the place. Central Oklahoma, from Oklahoma City to the Kansas border, joins much of California as one of the areas most likely to experience an earthquake in 2016, according to a federal map that includes both natural and man-made earthquake risk zones for the first time. The U.S. Geological Survey released the first map ever made of man-made earthquake risk zone on Monday with its annual release of natural earthquakes risk zone. Oklahoma is now among one of the most... Yeah, I got that. All right. How to rapidly read an article and dispense with it. Study finds horrific link between scented candles and health problems. Oh, I've been saying this for years. That reminds me of my wedding story. My wedding antidote story. One of my last weddings I did as a wedding videographer, because I used to do wedding videography quite a bit, was with a guy who absolutely insisted on having a candle blow out every single time he kissed his wife, or his future wife. It was the weirdest wedding I've ever been to. Oh, script error. He literally lit a candle every time he kissed his wife, and they were breathing the fumes the whole time. And they'd be blowing the fumes out in each other's faces. It was so weird. But apparently a horrific link between scented candles and health problems. Fall and winter home decor wouldn't be complete without scented candles. Trust us, we love them as much as the next person. Oh yeah. What's even worse is the candles aren't the only culprits. Scented aerosols, gels, and plug-ins are among the array of hazardous substances which may cause lung damage and tumors. Now, isn't this amazing that we have yet to actually get any oversight from companies like SC Johnson, the family company? I mean, what do they make, Oust or something? None of those products on the shelf are tested. There's nobody in the government testing these things. I'm serious. It's a Glade product, Oust odor eliminator. So they're of the belief that we're supposed to stick some terrible substance in our air to get rid of the smell, and it's going to be totally safe. Nothing to worry about there. The odor eliminator, Oust. There's his website. Safety. Let's take a look at safety. Keep out of reach of children. Keep away from sources of ignition. Yeah. Do not pierce can. Do not spray on pets or pets' beds. Before spraying, remove birds. So even they're telling you to remove the birds before, but it's okay for you to spray. Now, Candy Rain makes candles who are 100% clean burning soy. Candy Rain is here to talk about the safety of clean burning soy candles. Thank you, Candy Rain. I would much rather have a candle like you have than something that's going to smell. I did not see your product yet. You buy them? Oh, you sell them. You don't make them. Okay. They'll give a link to your product here. You know, might get a sale. Of course I'm watching my chat. What am I supposed to be not watching, Green-Eyed Girl? I am watching the chat. Uh-oh, we've got a problem. Thank you. Thank you for alerting me to it. Admiral Crunch is being rude. Admiral Crunch, you're on waivers here. Yeah, do not threaten people in the room at all, especially my supporters. All right? You can hang in the room if you don't threaten them. Thank you very much, Candy Rain. Dogbone's got a video. Really? What video? You say check out this video. Dogbone, where is it? Yeah. Admiral's a Muslim? Heavy duty? Really? I don't think anyone's going to own anyone here. That's just not happening. We're not into slavery. I won't skip your link. The man is named Jesus, and he healed himself. Could everyone just stop chatting for just a second? Thank you. Okay, we're good. Watch the chat. I'm watching it. Admiral, are you going to, stop doing that? That's great. Mexican Jesus fell from the cross. Folks. Volume alert. This does cause some ear damage, so I'm going to turn the volume down. Is this apocalyptic or what? During the festivities of the Holy Week in a town near Mexico City, an actor representing Jesus during the Passion fell from the 13-foot wooden cross. Despite the fall, the only miracle was that the actor managed to fall standing with no injuries at all. It's a miracle. Yeah, because he landed on somebody. But the people he landed on were all squished. Pandemonium, as another one bites the dust. Another Jesus has fallen. Okay, what do you have? Dogbone has a video. Okay. They need a net. Yes, they do. People smoking marijuana, lighting up bongs. Is that you? That's some pretty good weed. They're laughing their heads off. I never thought a bong hit would be that funny. Ah. What they're really laughing at is how their life is going to be a joke if they continue smoking marijuana the rest of their life. Yeah, that's the real joke. Ha 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 ha. It kills your motivation. Oh man, they're messed up. He jumps out the window. Keep it on, Dave. What is it? Is it angel dust? It's not. I've never seen weed do this to people. What is she doing? She passed out. What is that? Okay, can I close it down now? It's salvia? It's saliva? You know, I've been swallowing my own saliva for years now. It hasn't gotten me high. Frankie is here to say that weed is the road to hell. Brethren and many purveyors and users of marijuana, welcome. We are here to share the good news that legalization is now okay in over 20 states. So it's okay to consume. Bernie just found out about marijuana. It took him 8 years to realize he should support legalization. What has Bernie done in the past 7 years? Does anybody know? I mean, aside from taking a few bowel movements. We support cannabis legalization here. Yeah, clearly, Candy, it wasn't weed. Yeah. I thought it was weed, but it's not. You said bye? Well, you want me to dance first, Sauce Kit, or not? You don't want me to dance? Okay, I can't do my dance routine for you. Okay. Well, you missed it earlier. Just hit the record button. Or play back this recorded archive footage. Yeah, I'd like to talk about the Brussels attack. I'd like to bring up credible information that might very well influence your thoughts. Many of you are still deciding whether it's the left or the right to vote for in the upcoming election. Well, I'm here to talk about the center. Now, the illusion of choice is what they give you. In a country that claims to be free and democratic, we are neither free nor democratic. We're being led to the slaughterhouse by these people. And they're trying to push an agenda of war and gun control. They want to get rid of our guns, and they want to put us at war. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to get that, to make that happen. So I have a link here. It's an illusion, democracy and freedom is. Yeah, so watch your freedom disappear if you keep voting for two parties. That's the bottom line there. And thank you, Sister Fight, for that great artwork. Right, problems and disorders. Frankie, we know you don't like cannabis. Thank you. It's helping so many people I can't tell you. But if you've never smoked marijuana, don't start. Why are cows voting? I don't know. Yeah, so we have a lot of footage of the recent Brussels attack that just doesn't add up. Some weird things that happened. As you know, Conspiracy Monday talks about false flags. That's right. Noble Watchman said Albert Pike spelled it out in Morals and Dogma. That's correct, Noble Watchman. Albert Pike was one of the leaders in the Mason movement, which has pretty much established the control of our country. Washington, D.C. was established by the Masons, really, in the Act of 1871, but Albert Pike is the only Confederate with a statue in D.C. honoring him. Albert Pike was this wild, weird Mason who wrote the book Morals and Dogma. I'm not a Mason. I never will join the Masons. But in it, he said that they have to lie at the top. They tell all the people at the bottom of the Masons lies. That's part of the deal. So whenever we see things going on in our world and we look for truth, the telltale signs of fakery is everywhere. The lack of evidence is everywhere. Yeah, they lie to all the little Masons. The top 33rd Masons lie. That's how they control their group. I think one of the weirdest pictures I saw was a crisis actor in Brussels carrying a fake baby. I'm not going to allow you to support Bob Dole here.
I want to talk to a witness right now. Jeff Hoffman's on the phone. He's an American working for NATO in Brussels, and as I understand it, he was at the airport and witnessed the explosions and the aftermath. Jeff, good morning. First of all, tell us how you are doing, how those you love are doing, and what you saw and heard this morning.
All right, we'll let that roll out. Okay, you can only vote once, yes. Write my name in. David Sponheim. Okay, there's footage here of this attack. There's no actual smoke alarms going off.
Okay, but I don't think it's completely hit. Because the three of us were actually...
This guy pulls up a baby. Let me see if I can stop it for you.
Okay, but I don't think...
You can see from the background the baby's hand is completely stiff. No baby would ever stand there with his hand out like that. Why, he may still be alive, but does that really matter? We'll close in on this guy again.
I think we're all doing okay, but I don't think it's completely hit. Because the three of us were actually essentially right next to the explosion.
Anyway, everything about this guy looks like a fakery. The baby, the stiff arms, the whole thing. The way he's holding it with his one hand. I mean, who holds a baby with that one hand and swings with the other one? I mean, you would hold a baby with both hands, especially if it's definitely a doll. So you have to ask yourself, why is there a doll in this Brussels attack? And why are there no smoke alarms going off? How come there's no sprinklers? Not one of the photographs shows sprinklers or smoke alarms. Anyway, bye, guest. Okay. I don't know where she is. I'm a little concerned, actually. I'm going to have to go turn the light on. I was never in a terrorist attack. I've been in a bank robbery. Does that count? I was a victim in a bank robbery. Yeah, how many real terrorist attacks are there when you think about it? Do you really believe 9/11 was a terrorist attack? Many people do. Here's more of the Brussels baby dummy and more Starbucks. Okay.
To check in at the desk row 8, which is fairly near the Starbucks coffee shop. And I actually went towards the Starbucks to go and get a tea for my partner. And it was at that moment that the first explosion happened.
So there it is. There's your Starbucks. Look, I know this has been covered a lot. I haven't made a video of it, but I might as well, seeing that's in this video, about the dummy baby. And I'm just going to show you this. And if you can tell me that this is a real baby, well, I've got terrible eye problems and I need my eye checked again. But check this out. The guy there, he actually picks up the dummy from the floor. Watch this.
Desk row 8.
So he picks it up.
Which is fairly near the Starbucks coffee shop. And
it's like a rag doll. It just picks it up and walks away, and his supposed partner follows it. Don't worry about your luggage. I'm going to show this and slow it down and just watch the baby doll. Its arm, it's stiff as, and the way it carries it, it is an absolute joke. It is an absolute joke that anyone believes that that's a real baby.
Right. Hey.
Hello.
That's okay. No problem. Yeah, it's an absolute joke. Yeah. That is PK there. PK Truth. He's got a kind of a funny voice. Hello, Sarah. Sarah's here. We were just talking about you.
Hello.
How was your day?
Good. I just went to a meeting.
A little meeting, yeah.
Board.
Oh, yeah. The board. Yeah. So I saw the trucks that were taking all the dirt in and out of town. They're building this massive septic sewage treatment plant in our city.
Oh, okay.
And the truck drivers are driving like hot rods out there. They're all making big bucks. $130 million to create a place where they can dry crap.
Wow.
Completely unscientific waste of U.S. tax dollars.
Just create a living system.
Yeah. Sarah wrote a letter about a living system.
Now I need to write another letter since there's a new mayor.
Yeah, well, he's kind of, typical.
I'm sure they're just like the old one.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. They've got a $130 million project to dig this massive hole right next to an RV park near a beautiful bay.
Do you have a link, Super Dave?
It just There's no science behind anything they're doing. It's just they're creating a drying room for another $20 million to look at the crap dry. I mean, it's like a viewing room to look at crap dry. I mean, I cannot believe that they would do that. But it doesn't surprise me the way they're wasting money across the nation on unnecessary contract work. Our nation is borrowing money to finance wasteful projects. That's what's going on in our country. That is a nation that doesn't know what it's doing. We support a pay-as-you-go plan. The Democrats, Republicans, as long as you don't ask questions, they don't want you to know. They're willing to give contracted workers money out of borrowed money that they take out loans against the states just to finance these corrupt politicians and their cronies that get them elected. You know, these are the people that are funding the corrupt politicians with a little bit of donations, and then they get the big contract as payment. We have a nation that's literally working like a corrupt bunch of mobsters. Literally. Well, we're wasting money left and right as a nation, and states like California, New York, Illinois, Washington, they're reaching major budget downfalls and shortfalls. Even Oklahoma now is firing 200 teachers.
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's firing 200 teachers right now across the board.
Why?
Well, the story is that they can't afford to keep these people.
Oh.
It's just too much. Oklahoma is... Well, you can read about it. I'm going to give you guys a chance to meet Sarah and talk to her.
The state faces a budget hole.
Massive budget shortfall in Oklahoma. Oh. It could be related to the fracking and what's been happening there. Who knows? Hang on. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to get some more coffee.
Yeah.
It's like thuggery.
There we go. All right. Working on it, Allura, as you can tell. Well, some people can choose to send their children to private school, so I guess that's what happens, is some people do. Thank you. Maybe I will take my hair down. I need to go. I'll probably take my hair down and then I'll wash it. I was just at a meeting, Grizzly Ray. Not a big deal. People were worried about me. I feel so special that you would worry. Yep, some people do homeschool, or sometimes they have homeschool and connections with the schools, with the public schools. So that's something to look at as well. You would like to pet me and laugh? Well, that kind of sounds a little bit creepy, David Nation. But I bet you already know that. It sounds creepy. All right. Oh, there's a lot of people telling him that? All right. What was sending into the county office? Bad things? Thank you. I like my hair too. And I need to work on my... I need to wash it tonight, I think. That's what I need to do. That will be very good. Oh, your homeschool stuff. Yours was sending... Oh, you had to send in a whole bunch of papers into the county office. Yeah, they have to do so many reports to whoever to say that that the kids are actually studying. So 200 teaching positions. The cuts covers the Oklahoma City Public Schools faces a catastrophic budget crisis. They're going to eliminate 208 classroom teaching positions next year because they have a $30 million budget shortfall. That's going to increase class sizes, of course, and going to save the district $8 million. They expect that to be absorbed through attrition and non-continuing contracts. They have 1,100 people on non-continuing contracts. Wow. I was never at one of those. 841. Wow, you guys are just going at each other. Can you lay off of it or take it to I Am, Salty Dog, and Grizzly Ray? Much appreciated. Thank you. A huge fire engulfs 2 towers of a residential skyscraper in United Arab Emirates. Wow. Would I stomp? No, I often pick up ants and take them outside. I try not to actually, I don't stomp on the ants. I take them outside. Especially because I believe, like David, that ants actually give off a little signal to theirs, and that if you stomp on them, they'll actually send more ants to collect the bodies of their dead relatives. So I do put out ant traps, though. Here's a picture of this fire that's engulfing the 2 towers at the residential skyscraper. Wow. In the Swan area, the Persian Gulf city of the Ajman in the United Arab Emirates. They say that the fire has been brought under control. Well, yes, ant traps. I guess I do kill ants with the ant traps. But does that answer your question? I like that. All right. It's true. I use ant traps. I cannot tell a lie. All right. Well, you can also mute each other, or not mute each other, but you can put each other on ignore, Grizzly Ray and Salty Dog, so then you won't have to see what each other types. Yes, ants follow each other by a chemical trail, so when you step on them, it releases the chemical, and then they all swarm to get their buddy. It's like, no, leave no ant behind. And yeah, I would say this is All News Pipeline, and these are all the U.S. cities receiving the most Somali refugees. I've heard St. Cloud 243, Minneapolis 646, Minnesota, yeah, a lot in Minnesota. That's the most. Columbus, Ohio 412, Syracuse, New York 307. Buffalo, New York, 361. Wow. So, that's a lot. I heard there, I guess those are the places you can move if you want to be a teacher and you're getting fired from Oklahoma. Oh, do I really want to look at a Michael Savage thing? I'll say no. All right, thanks, Johnny. Thanks for promoting yourself. Just be sure to promote me at your show. Alrighty then. All right, take care. I know, exactly. Hate is gonna hate. 488. It's just the way it is. Hi, Mad Dog. How are you? Finally, the heart's like caught on. I was like, oh. Thank you. You know a friend that went to Chicago, got a teaching job at a private school, and the unions didn't like it, I bet. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, private schools are, some of them are pretty good. Oh, I've had this sweater. There's 2 sweaters I'm actually wearing. This sweater underneath, David gave me, and it's very, very old sweater, but I like it. And then, oh, thanks. Did I repeat? Oh, hi, DT Laura. I did type something to you when I first came in the room, which was I was going to pay more attention to the chat, so I'm sorry if I didn't say hi. And then this sweater I bought, trying to think. I think I bought it at Kohl's, or maybe I bought it at Sears, but it was over 2 years ago. So that was it. Well, yes, in a way, Jabberwolf. They thought of a time that they were sweating and they were nice and warm. So they made sweaters when they were cold to hopefully make them warm. And if they got warm enough to sweat, they did a good job. Very powerful, very strong woman. Would enjoy to pet her. Thank you, 488. Now it makes sense. Yes, it does make sense. I suppose you can do anything you want, but I don't think it's going to help. 470. I love sweaters, and I live in the Pacific Northwest, so the high today was like 50 or 55. Not warm enough for me to be in that kind of gear that you're mentioning, Bingolitis. A friend gave me this cool bracelet today. Isn't that cool? It's actually little pieces of seashell. I have this, anyway, I have this ring that will match it. So wear that. Oh, don't say that when Dave is in the room, 488. Don't promote that. I don't want you to get muted or purged or banned. Yeah, I might go visit Arizona sometime. I hear that it's perfect for wearing good shorts and things like that. Yes, seashell mood bracelet, kind of, except it doesn't change colors. But it does make me happy. Pretty cool. You had one of them, you can get them at a Lakeshore type store. It's so cool. What a cool friend. I didn't answer your question. Your question is, yes, maybe. I don't know, David Nation. I haven't figured out, I don't know that answer to that question because I haven't crossed the time-space continuum as of yet. So I don't know what all exists there. However, I believe I shouldn't be judged on my religion. Because I believe in the Constitution of the United States. I will say a little bit of what I believe. I believe that I'm here to help as many people as I can right now. And when I pass, when I die, I will have to help even more people simultaneously, possibly. So I think that's what angels do. They help people. Oh, that's cool. Port Dover or Port Charles, Canada. That sounds good. Well, got to go out and petition who you want on the ballot. That's what you need to do. You got to sign those petitions, get that person on the ballot for president for the general election. That's what you got to do every day. Go out and get as many signatures as you can. We're talking about politics. How are you, Walker Stevens? Yes, exactly. All right. So we're talking about politics. What is your ideal vision for the future? Do you think we already have an awesome country? I do. Here in America, I think we rock. I mean, other countries might do well for themselves, which is fine, but I really think that we're doing pretty well here in America. A guy shot a lawnmower that was filled with explosives. How was a lawnmower filled with explosives? I don't think that you can actually remove it, Grizzly Ray. However, when I had, it wasn't poison ivy, it was poison oak, and I had the horrible rash, and I even had it there. Oatmeal that's been warmed but not hot, so it's warm to touch. That helps take the itch away. I'll just say that. Oh, so Super Dave, well, I'm going to say come on now is how you spell that, because it's not common, or COMMON is common. But you feel that our country has gone downhill in the last 8 years, and I understand what you're saying. And we've gone trillions of dollars, $17 trillion in debt, DEBT. DEPT is short for departments. DEBT is debt. But $17 trillion is a lot of money in debt. The question is, I mean, maybe it's just my life that's well, and I'm not going to say that my life is going well because of the government. I think I've just made some personal choices so that my life can go well. I personally think that debt and money is a complete ruse, and we need to see that what we have the resources, we have the intellect to provide what we need for our country. That's what I would say, is that really we need to kind of rethink debt and rethink all of that. I definitely don't think any person should go into individual debt, because then you end up owing people so much for relatively nothing. And the more you go into debt, the more money percentage wise that they kind of have you in this gridlock. It's crazy. It's 19 as of today, and will be 21 trillion after the omnibus bill was signed a few months ago. Wow. Yeah, I kind of wonder though, it's like, I kind of think that our entire system is based on this fallacy of money and who creates the money, and the money's kind of created out of thin air. So really, should we be using money as a measure of our government? Of course, I know people use money as a measure because that's how it is, but I would also say that we need to look at what resources that we have available. And I'm clicking, sorry, heavy duty. I think that we need to look at the resources that we have available and the people that we have in our country, and that we have the ability to have a great life. Maybe some people need to learn that poverty is not a horrible thing. I think that my life is really good. Not that I live in poverty, but I'm saying that sometimes we need to look at what can we solve and how much do people really need. I think as a society, a lot of our country has moved to a time and place where there's everyone, for the most part, a lot of people have their basic necessities. Cloward Pivens, yeah. Most people have their basic necessities met, and it's amazing how much just have so many things that they don't really need. And people are always chasing this idea that more and more and more things will make them happy, and that's not really the case. I think that you can make a decision to be happy daily, and that you can look at what's going well in the world. That's what I would say. Instead of looking at, fear and everything's horrible in this world, I think that we need to look at what is going well. Amaroot, you say cars are equal steel, railroads equal steel. We need more steel. I tend to agree with you. In fact, we would not have the skyscrapers that we have today if we did not have steel. More seeds to grow, food would make you happy. Good, Candy Rain, make sure you avoid that glyphosate in the soil. It's just ruining everything from what I hear. You're an old geezer? Oh, that's okay if you are. You linked about 2 malls safe. I didn't get your link, Super Dave. I must have been looking away, because I remember I said, please link it, and then it didn't, or something else. And then I have a link from Scissor Fight. Oh, can you link it again? I will. It's not that I'm not afraid to click it. Please link it, Super Dave, again. No, I wasn't. I just didn't see it. The chat was moving too fast, or I was talking about something else. Sweet potatoes are exposed to chemical trails, aren't they all? Okay, so it's Michael Savage. You're saying that one is not, that's a picture. Alright, that's why I didn't click it, because originally I just thought it was a picture. Alright, so we have to do something rapidly. Whole world is collapsing. And I clicked the one about the refugee cities. Alright, and where's the one about the malls? You said that this one was about the malls being... Belgium. Okay, where's the one about the malls? There's nothing in there about the malls, Super Dave. So, anyway, I did click your link. Scissor Fight, I didn't click your link with the Good News Network, so you can always link that again. You think the internet is Baphomet? I think the internet is here to stay, but I wouldn't call it Baphomet.
I think that Google is Skynet. Pretty safe to say.
I don't think so.
I think it is. I think that Google is hidden behind the scrim of Google. I mean, look at Eric Schmidt. The former CEO is now working for the Department of Defense. I mean, if that isn't a telltale sign, what is? DOD hired Eric Schmidt.
That is pretty cool about the free food fridge. So an Indian restaurant installs a sidewalk fridge to hold free food for the poor. That is cool.
That is so nice. That is so cool. And it's great to hear that people are, trying to do that. Is that Calcutta? Because I think that guy would probably, that refrigerator would empty in like 2 seconds.
Maybe they say that
David Nation.
They posted a message to followers asking them to help stock the fridge with any leftovers they can spare. Wow.
Yeah.
Here in America, that would be shut down like the next day because they'd say, that doesn't meet health standards. No. You have to let the people starve if it doesn't meet health standards.
The health department standard. I tried to get a pizza parlor to give food away, and to
Super Dave.
To the homeless, and the health department wouldn't allow it. They simply required pizza to be thrown in the garbage every day. All across the nation. Pizza is being thrown away. I'm not kidding. And you know how much you love pizza. One of your friends met Bill Clinton, really? How was he? Did he talk like this? He's kind of talking like this now. Yeah. A federal agent, testified that an Iraqi man indicted on charges that he tried to help Islamic State wanted to set off bombs at 2 Houston malls. Wow. So is this what happened today in the Capitol building? Is this the guy?
This is in Houston. No, this is not the same place. This guy was arrested in January.
Oh. Well, there are bad people out there. Don't get the impression that in any way am I making jokes about things like serious as terrorism. But do we really believe everything we're told without any evidence? I mean, come on, people. Really? They didn't do an investigation into countless people around the country. I mean, Justice Scalia died. They didn't even bother with an autopsy, not even an investigation. And he was found with a pillow over his head? I mean, what's going on here? No evidence, scant evidence at best of various terrorist attacks. I mean, that's not enough for me as a citizen to back some foreign war which we should not be invested in. Am I right? Thank you. Yeah.
So this world parliament now wants to rule the world? Is that what's happening?
I've heard about this group. I've heard about this group. I was made aware of this group a long time ago. They're a communist front group. They're calling themselves a democratic, non-military government based on establishing peace and solving environmental problems. But communism has soft-sold itself many times in this form. Yeah, Rob Ford, no autopsy there. I mean, what did he know? Who was with Rob Ford in the last days of his life? Do we have any photographs at all? No, nothing. Did he lose a lot of weight? Was he still obese when he died? Do we know anything, really?
So in January, the 2 Iraqi refugees were arrested.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, they're doing a good sting operation on some terrorism, no question about it. But the fact that only 15% of our luggage is checked by the TSA is ridiculous. I mean, we're being scanned. When people travel, they're being scanned. I don't travel because I don't want to be scanned. I don't want anyone touching my body parts. But I would rather have basically plainclothes National Guardsmen and people from the Coast Guard, men and women, to actually guard our borders. Oh, God. This is my show, and I'll talk as long as I want to.
Yeah.
It's my show, and I'll talk if I want to. Talk if I want to. Okay.
So there's a Capitol Hill shooting today?
Yeah, Capitol, it's D.C. Capitol building, yeah.
Yeah.
The shooter was allegedly threatening Congressman Pryor and was there with a gun.
Okay.
And he was shot, I believe. Let's take a look. ISIS training camp backyard live look maps. Wow. Okay. I'll take a look at that too. Okay. Man with a gun shot by police at the U.S. Capitol Visitor Center. So basically the guy went there with a gun and they shot him. Kind of like Marion Carey when she drove near the U.S. president. Yeah, when she drove near the White House. She was hunted down and shot in the back 5 times. A woman who wasn't even armed. So you can imagine what an alleged shooter... He didn't even shoot anything. He just came in there with a gun.
Yes, 332. Here's
the story. May I talk? Thank you. I mean, not you. I mean, I'm asking the chat room. A man who authorities said took a gun and pointed it at officers, he did point it at officers as he tried to enter the U.S. Capitol building, was shot by police, prompting a scramble by law enforcement amid heightened security after terrorist attacks in Brussels sprouts. Well, good. I think they did a good job. He should be shot. He took a gun out and pointed it at him. I mean, my God. Yeah, he should have been terminated like ASAP. Good job, guys. I want to thank the men and women who are guarding our Capitol for stopping a potential terrorist. Thank you very much. That was a good job. They got ready. They literally took him down. I'll purge you too. We will continue purging you all night long if you keep doing that. Yeah. Okay, Super Dave, what do you got?
I'm gonna take a break.
It's time for Sarah to take another break.
Well, I mean, I could stay.
No, you are awesome. If you want to come back, don't. But
I'll come back in 10 minutes.
You don't have to. It's okay. But she just got home, folks. She literally just got home.
I didn't just get home.
Well, yeah, you did. I mean,
came in here.
But I mean, you've been sharing your life with these people. This is a homegrown jihadist group in the U.S. Wow. Well, this will be good for tonight. I'll play that tonight on our show. Hey, dude. Here it is. Okay, thank you. Bye, Sarah. Rest up, babes. When you Photoshop Donald Trump's lips onto his eyes, he literally looks the same. That is fascinating. Here it is, folks. Somebody's been doing some advanced work with their Photoshop, and they have indeed made the Donald Trump replica out of his mouth. That is fascinating. Well, thank you. That was Sad Michael Jordan that did that. This is a rather unique anomaly. I don't think anyone can really say that about everybody. So in order to do that properly, I have to at least try to do it with me. All right. But I have to open my eyes to do this. It won't matter if I open my eyes, but it'll be fun. I just look like my eyes are closed. Hi, everybody. It does look a little spooky. Yeah, it looks like exactly sideways vaginas. I was saying that the other night. You can quote me on that. He does seem to be a little blind, I agree. David, you have a great chance of becoming president than Trump would ever have. Thank you, 840. Thank you. You know, you're nourishing my positivity here. I really appreciate it, because you know this is almost a selfless act. It's up there with martyrdom, but I'm not claiming to be a martyr. But it is a selfless act that I do every night, and people don't realize that. So at this point, I'm still assessing Congress's job. They've been the least effective Congress we've ever had. Yes, 33-2. They've broken records in lack of legislation. Every year they come up with less and less good legislation, or any legislation for that matter. So they're kind of just gathering together and nodding asleep, and they're playing solitaire or something. So I can't really say which one's doing well yet. I would think the real test will be who wants to agree or disagree, or agree to disagree. You know, we have to find consensus in the middle of the political spectrum. That's a fact. I wouldn't even be running if I didn't believe that. If I was some extreme right-winger like Donald Trump, or a left-winger like Hillary, I would probably, I would probably be okay with not agreeing on anything. But I feel really the big problem with Congress is they can't find consensus at all. And Barack Obama has done nothing to communicate with the right at all. It's upsetting how he refuses to engage in an open dialogue about every issue that we've been dealing with. Yeah, he is an extreme right-winger, and he's an extreme left-winger too. Trump wants to put together an $800 billion healthcare plan on the heels of a $1.5 trillion healthcare plan. I mean, it's absurd. His healthcare plan doesn't make any sense. My plan involves mobile medical units, which will only cost $1 billion to produce, but will be able to be rolled out within 1 year. We can roll these units out and deliver medical care for another year for $1 billion. So a total of $2 billion. $1 billion to make them and $1 billion to deploy them for that year. The nice thing is we'll be able to sell medical marijuana out of these things, which will help pay for the actual cost of the vehicle. So the back of this particular vehicle will have a store where you can buy medical marijuana. And you'll be paying co-pays whenever you see a doctor, because you're going to be visiting a doctor by television. Your doctor will be coming through a monitor and will be giving you up-to-date interpersonal communication, so he can track your personal. Now, if your situation isn't elevated to a doctor, you would just be seen by a computer with a person attending, and the computer would say, "Thank you for coming in. It appears that you are pre-diabetic and should restrict the amount of extra sugar in your diet. We are printing out a large printout sheet of suggested diet plans for you to engage in to be healthy." And that would be like a $30 visit, especially if you were not presenting with any symptoms. If you had symptoms, it would include a prescription right there at the back of the pharmaceutical, right back at the back of the building. Right back there. I'd say 52, 69. Here we go. Okay, so here's the back of the building. There you go. Welcome to the medical marijuana dispensary. Every city will have them. 200 cities initially. I have an awesome record, folks, and I've done a show every night. To be castigated for something I've never done or have no knowledge of is bizarre. I get this a lot, and I have been encountering a lot of slander in many different areas for about 8 years now, and it got even personal. My sister slandered me when she was suing me in court, and that was a real problem. Well, Walker Stevens, I don't believe that Trump is our hope. In fact, I believe he's establishment. I believe he is part of the establishment. That's how he covered 4 major corporate bankruptcies. And that's why he's been able to bail himself out with unlimited funds. That's access to the Fed. Yeah, that's why you really have to write my name in this upcoming election. If you don't believe that, your vote is wasted on the New World Order. Whether you vote left or right at this point, it's a New World Order vote, no matter how you look at it. We don't have anybody who will stand up against these people who are elitists that think they can buy everybody. Now, one thing I do know is these people will look at me if I become president and automatically try to bribe me or get me to go to parties or do things for me. No, they come to me. They visit me in the White House, and the cameras are rolling. That's how I'm going to communicate with these people. Now, the oil companies, the coal companies, they have to be right in front of us. And we have to have a daily show out of the Oval Office. We have so much to do to correct the wrongs and create an environment where we can move forward. We have to have meetings with people at high levels. I will have private meetings with people at the CIA or the NSA or the FBI. And we will certainly discuss things involving national security privately. But as far as getting accountability from all these corrupt people, this is a huge task. It's going to be a massive get your hands dirty job right away. And we've got a lot to make up for because we've had so many lies and deceptions pulled over in the American people that nobody's ever even acknowledged in the government or in the media that this is like accountability time. I need to set up a couple justice investigations into the Hillary Clinton as well as to Barack Obama. We have to investigate her complicity in Benghazi. I don't believe Trey Gowdy did a good enough job. I believe we need a good prosecuting attorney and somebody with teeth and muscle who can actually work Hillary into the truth. The truth is, and this is something that got overpassed in the recent hearings, the truth is she's actually been instrumental in tracking what Chris Stevens was doing months prior, weeks prior, that her office was intimately aware of what Chris Stevens was doing in almost a strange way. Now that in and of itself is one telling sign. Another is the fact that she did do a search on the internet to get rid of emails. That implies complicity. It implies that at the very least she should be charged with a crime of public disclosure. That's a serious, big problem that no one's really attacked her on. And I'm amazed the GOP hasn't done anything, but then again, the two parties are basically working with each other to conspire here. Trump was put in the mix to push votes to Hillary. Any sane person's going to say they don't want a dictatorial person who wants to ID Muslims and create a deportation force for a president. Any sane person will tell you that. But not the Trump supporters. They're all for Trump. And I'm not jealous of anybody. The fact is, I'm not a materialist. They make me sick. They make me literally sick. I've had to end relationships with people who are corporate pigs. In my life, it's disgusting to see this type of personality. And for that type of personality to be running for office like Hillary, give me a break. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to get serious and get tough on all these two-party criminals, but I can't call everybody a criminal until I actually find information that I think is a crime. But with Hillary, it's definitely a crime. I think Obama's lied about his birth certificate. That alone is a crime, not to mention possible war crimes in Yemen and other countries, authorizing unmanned aerial vehicle strikes against innocent people. What about the recent attack in Kabul, killing off 17 people in a hospital? That's a war crime, no question about it. So yeah, we've got a lot of accountability, but we also have to move forward with the jobs plan. And that means ramping up people in every area to build houses and fix them up and get people into homes and get people a $10 an hour minimum wage. Even if it's just a government job. I'm not denying the fact that I want a minimum wage of $10 an hour for Americans, but I'm not going to distract the Republican-led Congress with a minimum wage position all the time. I'm not going to push for gun control. That's been a diversion for the past 7 years. I will not do that. We have to focus on the real problem here, creating production in America, which clearly the corporations have no intent to do because they don't have profit in that. They have more profit in outsourcing labor to other countries. And that's been the problem all along. The Republicans and Democrats can't break their back of the corporate piggies that want to profit from exploited labor overseas. So that's a big, huge change. Getting these people to talk about American jobs again. Getting people in business and industry to sit down and chat. I mean, I like the fact that Steve Wynn is on Trump's team. Don't get me wrong. I like Steve Wynn. I think he's a good guy. I think he's trying to create job creation. But I'm not a Trump supporter, and I cannot get behind a person who uses my ideas indiscriminately without even paying homage to the person that came up with these ideas. Hang on a second.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, so Sarah is here, and we're going to move this over here and just collapse the mobile medical units. But like I said, 200 of these units will cost $1 billion. They're $5 million a piece. Each one contains mobile x-rays, ultrasounds, blood pressure checks. Everything's going to be state-of-the-art and will be integrated. Telemedicine vehicles will be integrated with local VA facilities. And I can roll these out as president without any oversight or control by the Congress. I can do this right through the U.S. military and the VA system. These ideas have been honed and designed to beat the congressional lockup that's out there. You can't just come up with ideas like this sitting there buying them from other people or borrowing them from other people. You wouldn't know how to execute these ideas.
Exactly, Grizzly Ray. A hospital on wheels.
Yeah. Local hospitals everywhere. I didn't know Steve Wynn was a vampire. Okay, until I meet him and verify he's not a vampire, I will have to refrain from a passing judgment about Steve Wynn. I did try to reach his secretary, Candy, by email, and she never got the email through to Steve. I was actually pitching Steve one time on a renewable energy water dehydration solution for his, but he never even responded. I never got a response back. We wrote him a nice letter too.
Yeah, exactly.
Candy completely, his secretary completely blew off the email. I would like to meet Steve Wynn and talk about how to save water in Vegas.
I'm not a fan anymore that he endorsed Trump. I'll say that, though.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter to me if he endorses Trump. The fact is, I'm not a fan of Steve Wynn because he didn't return my emails.
Yeah.
I mean, let's start there, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, I heard that he has to take a pay cut. Wynn does.
Yeah, good.
Is not doing very well.
Good. I hope he does. He'll have to face another round. Steve Wynn is battling with vision problems. He's got some serious long-term vision issues, so I feel for him on a human emotional level.
Yeah.
I would certainly be willing to talk to him about how we can save water from evaporating in and around his resorts. I've got some great ideas. Yeah. But it's going to involve, a little bit of investment. I'm not here to promote these ideas here, but, I don't think we need to talk to people about me or attractiveness or, it's really irrelevant.
I mean, we do need to talk to people about you.
Yeah, but talk about the issues. Let's not talk about whether so-and-so is attracted to so-and-so. All right, so Minnesota creates a new type of gun that looks like a smartphone. Did we talk about that?
No.
Let's look at that. Thank you.
That's interesting.
And it might even be an actual news story we could play. Look at that.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There could soon be a new type of gun on the market, a gun that doesn't look like a gun at all. I sat down with the developer to learn.
Okay, I've seen these things that have 100,000 volts.
Why he wanted to create what's called Ideal Conceal and found out why law enforcement says it could create.
You know, this is interesting. I did a speed test earlier, and when I started the speed test for the show, we were downloading at 80 megabytes per second with this new system you put in.
Yeah.
And our upload was 10 megabytes per second, which is twice what we've ever had.
Oh.
And then I went and checked again later once the broadcast was rolling and I had my browsers open, and our download speed was only 17 megabytes per second. So it could be the reason why we're having a problem.
Problems.
There's a gun in this shot. Can you see it? Probably not. And that's the point.
But I've had it here, and so basically it'll be shaped as if it's a phone.
But it won't play music or make phone calls.
Since our culture is really very split on gun, anti-gun, liberal, conservative, there's some people that really would take serious issue in your workplace or somewhere else to see, a gun on you. And I think it gives people an opportunity to avoid that conversation.
It was after licensed gun carrier Kirk Gelberg accidentally flashed his gun.
In the middle of a crowded restaurant says, Mommy, that guy's got a gun.
Gelberg decided it was time to create Ideal Conceal, his company based in Monticello.
Your gun and my cell phone look pretty much like the same thing.
Correct. It's about as big as most phones would be with any kind of a protective case.
Here's a closer look at the plastic model. It does look just like a smartphone. And the real thing, a .38 caliber double-barreled Derringer made of polymer and steel, will weigh about the same.
The manufacturers are always going to look to produce and try and make something marketable.
It's why Captain Adam Lindquist with the Maple Grove Police Department says their officers stay vigilant, training to watch body language and get a read of what's going on in every situation.
How are you as law enforcement supposed to know the difference?
That's the challenge with the identification piece of the threat. That extra timing for an officer to identify, is this a threat?
From a firearm that's hard to spot.
Well, with over 1,000 people dead from police shootings this past year, 1/3 of them unarmed completely. I think cops have a hard enough time finding out what a gun looks like as it is. It's going to be even harder. Okay, we've got the link from somebody else. Route 66 now plays America the Beautiful whenever you go the speed limit. Wow. When will Big Brother ever not be perfect? I don't believe in speed traps. I really don't. But this is a novel approach. They've got speakers in the mountains there. Isn't that funny? I'm okay with a passive system as long as they're not ticketing the person. They're singing a song, America the Beautiful, behind it.
That's great.
Well, we need to go to this place.
That's interesting.
Where is this located? It's a stretch of Highway 66 called Highway 333, near the Tejeras. Plays the end of the American the Beautiful. Highway 333. Tejeras. Yeah, I don't know. Why is a smartphone gun exempt? I don't get it. Concealed weapons are illegal. I agree, Cat's Tail. You would not be able to wear that unless you have a concealed weapons permit. You are correct, sir. Yeah. This is when we get real serious. Yeah, so now it's a Conspiracy Monday moment for talking about guns and the conspiracy of the liberal left to try to push for gun control. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The name's Bond. James Bond. Yeah. I never had a first date. I pretty much hit the ground running when I took a lady out to the prom. I guess you'd call that my first date, but that was like the prom. You call that your first date? Yeah. Well, there you go. It's a .22 caliber. It's the chosen weapon of assassins. Yeah. Well, I'll be glad to play the I'm Not a Porn Star video. I was wondering about that, the presidential impersonation video. We could play that at the end of the show. Yeah, I was thinking about that last night. Are you psychic? I had a dream about that. Well, we have a lot of things we could talk about in the last 3 minutes. I'm thinking maybe aliens. I don't believe in aliens because I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one. I mean, I've got to see an alien in order to believe in it. We can talk about the dangers of radio frequencies. We already did that. Hold your phone away from you so you don't get potential contributing factor to brain cancer. And also, we've got the dangers of chemtrails. We'll be talking about that later tonight. These really are happening. I'm getting more and more people to believe it and understand it, but chemtrails really are a potential risk for humanity. And I'm concerned because the lack of science that went into the decision to use these chemicals in the air and dump chemicals on us like we were insects has been a major problem for our country. And without any oversight by our government, I mean, it's ridiculous. These people are literally going, oh, okay, go ahead and drop it. The governments are writing newspapers, let's say, publishing, we'll be spraying chemtrails over your head. And they actually, there's proof of this in L.A. L.A. County actually signed off on chemicals over people's head. You could claim it's they're spraying for mosquitoes, right? In L.A., that's quite common for fruit flies. So technically they can spray anything over on your head if they want. So yeah, tonight we can have some leftovers. I made turkey.
That sounds really good.
We had a turkey for Easter. Did you guys have a good dinner for Easter? Did anybody have a lobster for Easter? Anybody? And please don't lie. I just want to get a little jealous.
We don't want you to get jealous.
No, I just want to get it because I love lobster. I want to have lobster at the White House.
Had lobster for dinner. You can still have lobster for dinner.
Yeah, Mark toggles this show. When people came into our show tonight, they could barely get into the chat room. The capacity server issue is what he's using. This come on he puts out for VIP support. That's really at the heart of the problem. Yeah, whatever he's doing to the video quality, it's like 3 frames per second. That's how it sounds to people. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Well, let's be clear. Now, I did this entire thing in 2009 for the 2012 election. So this is 7 years ago. I did a non-stop 2.5-minute loop of 6 different impersonations. Sarah was in the other room. She heard me. And I did. You did, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean,
well,
it's
I did.
Kind of weird, but
yeah, but see, the thing is, doing weird impersonations. Sarah and I never really had a common area there. I mean, I just never really. That wasn't an area where we shared. Never. And I never expected Sarah to understand that I did impersonations professionally, and it was kind of odd when we first met. And I don't think really we've adjusted ever since. I mean, that's one area that Sarah just doesn't understand what I do. But that's okay. You can't get everybody to understand what you're doing at all times, you know. Okay, I'll check the references. Thanks, Walker. We've got a few links to shows that we want to play tonight.
Good information moving.
How the government influences you by manipulating you through the media. All right, I think we've got everything covered. I'm getting ready to do it, yeah. Here's the video, guys, and after that we've got all kinds of stuff all about the government, all about Homegrown Jihad, a story of the terrorist camps around the U.S., 35-minute version. We're going to talk about what this is all about. All right, let's go, man. Thanks for coming in, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our broadcast.